2, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeehaw! We're live, ladies and gentlemen. 1,000 episodes. Tom Segura, Joey motherfucking Diaz. We're delayed in starting, ladies and gentlemen. We did not have a lighter.
That was a real panic set in here.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. I thought some shit was really going to go down.
But thank God I am petrified of earthquakes and situations. I don't put slippers on. I sleep with sneakers on. I got a generator. I got
Do you have a generator?
I got a generator, dog.
Do you store water?
Water tools.
Yeah.
I got 2 weapons. I got an AR-15.
Have you been out here for an earthquake?
One of them that didn't scare me.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting by the computer and I was looking at the cat bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get high, and I was looking at the cats, and I was looking at the cat bowls, and all of a sudden, the whole building tipped. And I saw the cat bowls up in the air spinning, and the cats running for their lives. They were acting weird a couple seconds before that, and that's why I go, why are they so fucked up?
Oh, they were acting weird before the earthquake.
Before the earthquake.
They say animals can
sense it.
figure
They
things.
sensed it, and
I've
I'm
heard that a
going.
lot.
So I started looking at the cat bowls. Going,
Dogs
what
will
the
do
fuck
crazy
is going
shit.
on? That they're doing that, and all of a sudden, dog, I just saw the cat bowls. It's like a cartoon up in the air spinning, the earthquake, and the whole building shifted. I heard the bricks, the whole thing. I thought about it being at night, sleep apnea. You got to have a conveyor, whatever the fuck. And they sell like for $600. You get one with everything, lights, an iron. It fucking cleans your water.
It's scary as shit when
you
panic about what earthquakes are like before you move here.
Yeah.
You know, and then I remember the first week I was here, I was in an apartment in Sherman Oaks, and I was standing at the kitchen counter of this person's apartment on their laptop sending an email, and I felt and I go, in my head, I go, oh, that's the subway. And I kept typing, and then he goes, you feel that? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, it's crazy, right? That's the earth shaking underneath your feet. And I was like, oh, and it's like a panic sets in. You're like, oh my God, I've actually experienced the earth moving now. And then the next step is like when you're like if you're asleep and then you feel the dresser, you hear the dresser, or something that's hanging on your wall bumping. You're like, what the fuck's going on? It takes you that extra beat to figure out that you're going through an earthquake.
That extra beat is fucked.
How many have you been through?
Nothing big, but like 5s, 5.5s, a couple of those.
Yeah.
The first one I was in was an aftershock of the Northridge earthquake. I was staying in North Hollywood, and I was in this shitty apartment. It was made out of like fucking the same boxes that they used like to ship refrigerators in. Like literally, the walls, when the earthquake hit, the walls just went like this. I mean, like the whole thing was just like a giant was pushing on the house.
Scary as fuck, right?
Yeah, well, it's humbling.
Yeah.
Because you realize, like, this is nothing. This isn't chewing up the street. This isn't knocking over any houses. Imagine what it felt like when that big one hit, and it hit for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds is so long to feel the ground moving. That's why those people moved to Boulder.
Well, that's why. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
When you have that experience, there's some people that, because for a few days after Northridge, there was aftershocks.
Yeah.
And there's people that one day look at their kids and go, I'm not going through this again.
Yeah.
I work in Wilshire.
Yeah.
I work on Wilshire. I'm a big building. What if?
Yeah.
Sure. What if you
I
live
was
in
in
like
that fucking
Thousand
building?
Oaks?
What
Yeah.
if? So a lot of people just abandon. That's what everybody's waiting for. An earthquake here. Because then people leave and they sell their houses for dirt cheap. Like, fuck it, we're out.
It does happen.
We're out. We're gone. They don't ever want to experience it again. But then I see a guy like my uncle who's lived here since 55. And I've asked him, were you ever scared? And he goes, you feel them, but...
Dude, when I first moved here, before I first moved here, I was out here for meetings, and I went by a section of the highway, I think it was the 10, that had collapsed. And they were moving cars around it.
Yeah.
And is this what happened? Yeah. What is this, an apartment building that collapsed?
Just Northridge earthquake.
Oh, this is the Northridge one?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was a fucking serious earthquake, man.
Yeah.
Like, fucking serious. And when I was driving by this one section of the highway, it collapsed on the lower section. And I remember thinking, that's just shit luck. Like this right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you could be there, and that is just shit luck.
It is, really.
Blam, that thing lands on you, and that's how you go.
That's how
I'm sorry. I am a hard-working individual. I really try to do anything I could to help myself. But when people call me and tell me they want me to go to a meeting in Santa Monica after like 3, unless I'm picking up an envelope, I tell them no. Remember when that kid won the Oscar from Modern Family And he said, I was always the guy that went to Ocean Avenue at 5 for those auditions.
Yeah.
You deserve an Oscar because when you switch from the 10 to the 405, you got to wait on that ramp.
Yeah.
That
And
is
if you're
such first
high-
world privilege right
And
there.
if you're
It
fucking
is.
high and you're in the middle of that ramp,
Yeah.
your mind starts playing. I'm telling you, I've been stuck on that ramp and I've gone, never again.
Oh man,
I
used
want to
be,
go through this ramp. I don't ever want to be in the middle of that ramp. That's
Yeah,
not good.
not good.
Your mind starts playing with you, and you remember those images, and you go, "Fuck that."
Okay, let's plan this right now. If the shit hits the fan and this thing
Yeah.
shakes to the ground,
Yeah.
where are we going? Because listen, one of the main reasons why I like being in LA is because I like you guys.
Yeah, so where are we gonna all go?
I like for real, like 100%. Like that was the thing that bothered me the most about Colorado. I there was a lot of nice people out there, but I didn't know you guys weren't out there.
You were alone. It's a
Well,
weird feeling to be
I
alone.
see you when we work together, but there's something fun about running into you guys all the time.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it makes life better. We do
It
sets
does.
at the store,
Yeah.
the factory, and wherever we're at. It's more fun. It makes life more fun.
I would
each other's
do
podcasts.
100%. I would do a
Yeah.
group move to Colorado if
Fuck
everyone's
yeah,
down.
that's what I'm talking
I
about.
love that state.
That's what we do. The
Yeah.
group
And-
move
and
to
you gotta-
Colorado's the right
And
way.
you got to remember, guys, it's not our decision in that. It could be you go home, Mrs. Rogan sits you down and go,
That's it.
I'm not living through
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how. And in fact, I packed the bags. I'm
got
going
bags
to Colorado without you. I'm going to a hotel. Like some
Yeah.
people, it affects that way.
Oh yeah,
That they
yeah.
go like this ends.
right now.
today.
Yeah.
With that earthquake, you're
Yeah,
saying?
like some
sure.
people
I
really.
bet
that's
if you
what-
feel it, if you feel that motherfucker, the ones that take down highways, if you feel that, you're like, oh my God. Like, and this is not even a really big one.
Yeah.
Really big ones change the shape of continents.
True.
I mean, that's the real fear. The real fear is there's a giant one, like a 10 or an 11.
Part of you, by the way, always feels kind of crazy. Like when I was growing up in Florida with hurricanes, that like after a hurricane, you're like, are we staying after this? And they're like, yeah, it happens all the time. That's Florida's mentality. Like, this shit happens.
We're just board up, get beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
Stay in
something
the
about a
house.
hurricane that,
Yeah.
like, for whatever reason, I feel like if you're just in the basement, the top blows off the thing and you just fucking strap yourself in
Sometimes.
like a wild ride at Disneyland.
But now they give you these warnings. They're like, you're definitely going to die if you're at the beach. And people still are like, fuck it. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh, for sure.
I have my friend's mom. His mom is like 70-something years old. And this big one was coming. They're like, this time we're not fucking around. This is a category 5. This is going to absolutely devastate this area. And she was like, absolutely not. I've been here 40-some years. Nothing ever fucking happens. And he begged her, and she was like, no. And then it's like, you know, those reports are always rolling the dice because they'll say it's going to be this bad, and then it'll turn or it'll land different.
Yeah.
And it turned into like a tropical storm. She was like, see? But she was like the only person that stayed. Like everybody else, we would always bail. I don't know if you were ever there for hurricane.
No.
But like we would always book it, man. As soon as they were like, this thing is going to land, we're like, no, there's no way. And even driving in those tropical storms was unreal, man. Like you can't see an inch in front of the car.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
really
you're driving
can't.
through a car wash.
We had to stop once. Were you with me when Eddie did that seminar in Miami when we were working at West Palm? Did you go down with us?
No.
Eddie is doing a seminar in West Palm or in Miami. We
Yeah.
were in West Palm. It's like a half hour away. So we left to go to the seminar, and we were stopped dead on the highway. You could not see an inch in front of the windshield.
It's amazing.
It was
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It lasted for about 15 minutes, but it was just
Yeah. Dude, that
like
happens
the sky
all
opened up.
the time there. All the time.
We don't even know what rain is.
No.
We
I
don't
know.
even know. And I never knew growing up, like in Boston, growing up in Boston, I never saw that.
Yeah.
We saw it rain. We
Yeah.
never saw that. Like
No.
that's some next level.
I haven't really seen it duplicated since leaving there.
I saw one.
It's
I saw one.
pretty crazy.
As a child, I saw one bad rainstorm in Jersey, where the clouds got dark.
Yeah.
It started hailing. Have you ever lived through hail in Colorado? That's
Hail
fucked
is
up.
Did you ever
Yeah.
see videos of when people's cars are
Oh
just
my
getting
God.
destroyed?
Pounded, yeah.
And there's
Pounded.
one guy had a film of a lake. They were watching it, and it slowly ramps up. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2, and he's like, "Whoa, look at the size of this hail!" And then all of a sudden, it's fuck. It's literally like we're being attacked with rocks from space.
It's
like
really
here it is.
wild.
Watch this. Look at this. Look at this
That's
fucking
hail?
guy's pool. Yeah, there's a gang of these, man. But like, look at this one. Look at that. That's rocks. Those are ice
hysterical.
rocks.
It fucks people's
This
cars
is insane.
up.
Oh,
their roofs.
destroys cars.
Whenever this happens
Look
in
at the fucking
Colorado,
water, dude.
1,000 roofers moved to Colorado because there's work for 2 fucking years.
Yeah, but you get KO'd.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look at it. It's getting worse. This is insane. Dude, you get KO'd. Okay, especially if you're like a little kid.
Oh, definitely.
Imagine being a 5-year-old out in this. And you get fucking pummeled to death. Has anybody ever died from hail?
Has to have happened.
Seems like it.
The first week I moved to
That's
LA,
insane.
Tom Segura, the first week I moved to LA on a Monday, and that Friday was the North Hollywood shootout.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, I'm not sure if this is the place for me.
That was that week?
That Monday I came in, I was living with Stanhope.
Yeah.
I went to find a job that Friday.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of traffic, and they were like, nah, there's a North Hollywood shootout. I didn't know what North Hollywood was.
That shootout changed policing nationwide. You know that incident changed the way they viewed having weapons, changed their training. They never even contemplated that people would rob a bank with like fully automatic
Do you
machine
remember
guns.
the scenes of the guy
crazy.
coming out with the body armor just fucking blasting?
And that dude was laying by a car after he was hit, just shooting up at helicopters and shit. That was fucking crazy, man. I remember that national news. That was just like a big
You
fucking
couldn't
deal.
get on the 101.
No, I was in the news radio break room. We were getting ready to film a scene, and we were watching it. Me and Candy Alexander huddled up together going, what? In the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Everybody came in. Guys, get in here, get in here.
Look
We
at
were
that.
all in there watching. They're like, what in the fuck? And it changed the way they, what kind of tactics they use and the equipment they give police.
Absolutely.
Because they
Monday
were
night.
like, they had 38s back then.
They still reference it all the time. Yeah, I did a ride along 2 months ago with the Hollywood division.
Dude.
And I was the guy was still talking about. He's like, we have this because of this shootout.
And, you know, that's a lot of people say, oh, man, fucking the militarization of the police, man. This is what, and there's a lot of it that's not good. You give people too much power, it's not good.
Yeah.
But if some shit happens like that, they need that. Otherwise, they're sitting ducks.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of weapons you get on the streets right now?
Oh, dude.
Do you have any
get
fucking
crazy
idea
shit.
of the firepower? You get on the streets, some AR-15s, you get some wild shit on the fucking street.
Yeah.
All you have to do is this number. It's real quick mathematics for anybody who's interested. There's 350 million people somewhere around this country. There's more guns than there are people, and they're still making guns. Every day they make guns. There's a gun-making industry. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
They're making all kinds of guns all over the country right
And every
now.
year, like
every year they make
newer,
more.
higher tech.
They're not getting
Yeah.
rid of any guns.
No.
Like all those guns for toys. Oh, give back your gun and you'll get a toy. Okay.
Go
And then
fuck
there's
yourself.
there's a factory going on right now. They're cranking out ARs. Kabang, kabang, kabang.
And one person's like, here you go.
Get
Yeah.
Some rusty old 22 for
Yeah.
a
I'll
for a
take you
teddy
to a
bear.
fucking handball court that you get anything except like a hunting
Jesus.
rifle.
I can't believe they're playing handball still.
That's how they
Who's
get
dedicated to handball? Who's like, I'm going to be the best,
When you
bro.
get out of prison. What do you think you do in prison? You play handball. So when you get out, you claim disability, you play handball all day, and it's a cover for you that you're a half a momo, but you play handball, but you sell guns that kill. You'll get a gun at a handball court for $50 that shot 3 people. That gun hasn't missed. A motherfucker shot himself. A motherfucker committed suicide long range with those guns. Dog. They don't give a fuck. They got guns that don't miss on the handball courts.
Did you play handball in prison? Is that you said?
I played handball like the first 2 weeks, and it just wasn't for me.
You do
I
not.
played in Colorado because there was a few guys from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So when I went to Summit County, because I was arrested in Boulder, but once you start your state sentence, they were going to send me to either Missouri or Texas. I ended up going to Summit County. Summit County is like, we don't really have bars.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like, you could just do what you want here.
Yeah.
At night at 10 o'clock, the guard would go to Pathmark. Not Pathmark, like a supermarket.
Yeah.
And get us chips and sodas.
What?
It was like a fucking daycare.
Wow.
So,
So I
did you
was
get
up-
along? Everyone got along pretty well?
Yeah, I hung out with a dude from the Bronx that played handball, and we became friends together. He had been on the run for 12 years, but this guy was brilliant. He was fucking brilliant. Like the shit he had done, he had driven the cops. Like, what's that movie Leonardo DiCaprio did?
Catch Me If You Can.
Like he was that guy.
Right.
And the final thing he did to them was they caught him and he set him up on a drug sting. Like I read the paperwork. It was brilliant. He set him up on a drug sting. He said, I know where I could go buy 10 kilos of coke. The cops actually gave him $250,000 cash to buy the 10 kilos of coke. He set it up with his friend to have a car behind the house. The car was empty. The house was empty.
There was no
The cops never even did a background check to see who lived in the house.
Jesus.
The house was empty. He went through the front and went out the back and disappeared, traveled for 10 years. And he came back to the States because his dad died and they arrested him.
Wow,
He
took a
took the
chance. It's like
$250,000.
10 years ago. How
10
the fuck
years
is he
ago,
gonna remember me?
he went to like Aruba and just played shuffleboard and handball.
That's a dark world. The world of the expat and those South American
Yeah.
like tourist communities.
Yeah.
That's like that.
It's pretty sizable too, right? I mean, I
It's
feel like
very
there's-
sizable.
Yeah, a lot of
over
people.
all over Mexico. There's a lot of people in Brazil and all
I had a
parts
friend
of South America.
that's dad was island hopping all throughout his adolescence just to
wow.
avoid taxes. Just to avoid taxes.
Wow.
And then the crazy thing to me is that they came here, like they came back eventually. And I'm like, so is he in trouble? He's like, no. How's he not in trouble? He's like, I don't know. Aren't they going to catch him? He's like, no. What do you mean, man? Like, he's here now. Like, is that a whole new identity? No. Just
Okay.
don't worry about
does
it.
he pay taxes?
He says no, and he's like,
Now he doesn't.
He
He's
still
blowing up his
doesn't.
spot.
And then my friend was still like, you don't have to pay taxes. And I was like,
Oh, one of
"What?"
those guys.
One of
Talk
those
to
guys.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I know. He goes, Google it. I was like,
no,
Google
you
it.
have to pay taxes, man.
Google
you have to pay
it.
fucking taxes.
When that's your thing, like, just look it up, man.
God damn it, pay your taxes.
That's
course.
the worst advice.
They will lock you up.
They'll
so
fuck
quick.
you up, of course.
And it doesn't matter if you pay them. See, if you owe money to, say, like Exxon, whatever, they'll sue you. You have to pay the money.
Yeah.
You pay the money. But if the IRS, if you owe money to the IRS,
Yeah.
they put you in a fucking cage.
For sure.
Regardless of if you pay
Whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's say you
Even
owe,
if you agree to pay it, they'll
Yeah.
say, yeah, you're going to go in a cage first.
Yeah, no.
if
pay
you
your
owe
taxes.
a company money, they file a judgment against you.
Yeah.
Then they sell the paper, and then you get
Yeah.
called at comedy clubs like I used to. You know, when I first started comedy, I owed so much money. that I
Did
go
you
to-
really?
I go to a comedy club, and the manager would go, you just got a call. You just got 3 calls. And I go, holy shit, it's HBO.
Really, like collections?
In
Collection
my
people?
mind, I would go, it's HBO. Oh, shit. And all of a sudden, they would go, Joey, it's the same guy. And I'd pick up the phone, Joey, Discover card. We never got that payment. Motherfucker.
Wow.
They fucking figured out they have tremendous scams of people looking for you.
Yeah.
They have a computer that they'll go on to see what are the numbers that usually call you, and they'll get that number, and when they call you, that number will come up over your caller ID. They do some illegal shit when they're looking for you. But when you get a judgment from Exxon, 7 years you don't pay it, it goes away. The government, that judgment never goes away. That and the student loan. These motherfuckers that tell student loans to suck their dick.
Oh, yeah. Student loan is.
They
loans are
come
no-
That's
back.
even more intense than
Oh,
IRS stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the government as well.
Right.
The thing about student loans is it doesn't get erased when you go to bankruptcy.
Yeah, it doesn't get
So
erased.
if you file for
period.
bankruptcy, anything else is gone.
Yeah.
I paid a student loan. I thought it was cute. I took the last one out, the 26.25, the minimum. Fuck you.
I've known a couple of people.
They showed up about 3 years ago, dog, with a big old number. I had to get an attorney to negotiate it down and get off it.
Oh.
The IRS, I didn't pay taxes from 90 to 2001.
What?
Dog, I was crazy. I was hiding. I was doing, what was I making? 8,000 a year as a road comic,
Yeah,
doing
okay.
triple runs.
That's
What
true.
am I going to file?
Yeah.
So I didn't file. I made money 1 out of the 13 years, or 11 years. And one day I walked in downtown. I thought they were going to shoot me in the head. Mm-hmm. I took a number. They called my name. I went back there. I told them I hadn't filed in 11 years. They asked me what I did. I talked to the lady for a half hour. She goes, we don't go back for 7. So you got 7 free years.
Yeah.
They don't throw you in. Bro, listen, you have to be a dumb motherfucker for them to throw you in jail.
Or you have to be a public figure.
They give you every option, Joe.
Yeah.
Rogan.
A public figure,
Trust
you're
me.
actually worse off than if you're some just legitimate businessman.
But if you're a public figure, I could go down there with my attorney and say, look,
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot 10 movies in the next 3
no,
years.
they would not let Wesley Snipes do that.
Because he gave him such a... At first, he was telling them all this shit that fuck rules and fuck the United States.
think
and
he was just-
Black Africa and reprimand. Yeah, he was talking about all that shit. And that shit drives them crazy.
I don't think
He
that's what
also
he's talking
made
about.
it,
He was
he made
being,
a case that he didn't owe, though.
Yes,
too.
yes.
He was
yeah,
like, no, I
that's what
don't
it
owe.
really...
Yes.
Like my friend.
No, you got to go in there humble, and they'll play with you. Once you start talking
okay.
about Amendment 11
Right.
and Thomas Jefferson and black reparations and Chinese yakuzas, they don't give a Frenchman's fuck. You're
There's a
going to jail.
lot of those people out there that convince people that they don't have to pay taxes, that it's not in the Constitution.
People, it's like
A
they
lot of
want to
people-
believe it, like a conspiracy theory,
Well,
They-
no, it might be. Here's the thing. I mean, you might have a legal argument, But it doesn't matter. They'll put you in a
you
fucking
can't get away with
cage.
Yeah. Tax evasion. It's a
They
real
will
law.
They're
take
gonna put
that
that-
money and put you in a fucking cage, and
They're
you
gonna
won't make
put
any
that
money.
kid from fucking The Solution.
What's that?
That kid that we met.
The Solution.
That time. Is
The
that his
Situation.
name? Whatever his fucking name is. Let me get a tissue paper. What's the kid from
The
Tarantino
Situation.
that we met?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
his-
yeah. He's a nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
But
Wait, what
dog,
happened to him?
He tried to
He actually didn't just not pay his taxes. There was some shenanigans where he pretended he made less than he actually did.
Yeah,
like
they'll
that
get
kind
you
of
on
shit.
that too.
Why these Pete Roses and
They got Sinbad. Remember that? They were putting him on the
Yeah.
front page of the
Oh.
LA Times for years.
you know why though, dog?
Mike, the situation
Oh,
Sarantino
this
hit
guy.
with more charges,
Yeah.
including
Oh.
tax evasion and structuring.
The
Yeah.
tax evasion. Like once you structure
Yeah.
it and you're
Yeah.
the mastermind of it,
Well, it's not a good.
that's
it's not
not
a good.
good.
You're definitely going to the farm.
But you know what
So
the craziest
interesting.
part of the story was to me? That for that period that they're like hitting him up about, he made $9 million.
So,
Good for him.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I just was amazed that like I didn't realize that from. I mean, I remember that show, obviously a huge hit, but that's incredible sum of money.
We should really pay attention to this. Like,
To
just
his?
pay, not just his, but what they can do. Because you think about what it is we're just talking about money, right? And we're talking about some deception on his part, where you try to keep some money.
Yeah, try to make it
Now,
look like
you
earned
do that
less.
with anybody else.
Yeah,
Say if you're in some sort of a deal with Costco and you do some sneaky shit and decide they can sue you,
Yeah.
and you'll owe them and you have to pay them, but there's no threat of jail time,
right.
right? I mean, is there? If you tried to like cook the books, would they
Right.
get
Yes.
you? Would they put you in jail, or would they just try to
it's fraud,
fine you?
wire fraud. They have a lot of
You
different
probably pay
names.
fines, though. I'm guessing, right?
Do you think it would be the
Fines.
same kind of scrutiny and attention though that he's getting?
No, I think it'd be all about paying a lot of money.
Let's pretend that Mike Sorrentino, is that his name? Let's pretend that he had some sort of a deal with Chevrolet, and he was using his name to sell cars, but he was fucking around with some money and cooking the books and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, to the same tune as what was going on with the IRS. What do you think they would do to him? Would you even be seeing this on TV?
No, they would. No, yeah, it'd be like a suit.
Right, because what they're saying is this guy tried to fuck the Big Daddy.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're showing you. They're
Right.
showing you that Big Daddy gets mad when you try to fuck him.
And in the grand scheme of things, like it's a lot of money for an individual to earn, but it's it's not money that affects Big Daddy. But they're sending a
Big
message.
Daddy's coming after you. But
Yeah.
here's the strange thing: Big Daddy is just people. Like, why do we let anything be Big Daddy?
Yeah.
Like we used to think of it, I think, from like almost like a primitive perspective. Like you have a king, or you have a leader of a tribe.
Yeah.
I think that's how people used to think of it, and used to think of all these organizations, whether it's the FBI or the DEA, as being a part of that. But they're just a bunch of fucking people.
Yeah.
And no person should ever be Big Daddy to the point where if you have money that's owed to someone else perhaps, and there's some sort of an argument that you've been deceptive, that they can just swoop down and take all your money. Like they lock it all up. Like they go, no, we're fucking freezing your funds. Like Exxon doesn't get to do that.
Yeah.
Chevy doesn't get to do that. Other corporations don't get to do that. But Big Daddy has the overall say. If you violate Big Daddy's code, even though Big Daddy, like you don't even have to get a receipt from Big Daddy. You give Big Daddy half your money, and Big Daddy just takes it and spends it
Does
as they
whatever the
will.
fuck he wants,
Does
yeah.
whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
And and you say, what? You don't think you should pay taxes, you fucking hippie? What are you, a Bernie Sanders supporter? Not even saying that. Not even
Yeah.
saying that. Don't you think Big Daddy should be accountable? If Big Daddy's going to be able to just throw us in a cage because we don't give him ones and zeros, don't you think Big Daddy should be a little bit accountable?
They should be way more accountable for their spending. Way more accountable.
Way
Yeah.
more. You shouldn't just. You should be able to check off boxes too.
Yeah.
There should be like needs, like healthcare, check. Like police department, check. Fire department, check. Things that we all like have to pay.
Yeah.
And then there should be elective things. A bunch of elective shit. We
Well,
should-
I feel like they should also, like, our representatives should be way more willing and actually mandated to explain in detail and what they're doing, what they're spending on.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of House Congress, Senate, there's just like an air of arrogance about the way that they even handle them. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
way
they have power.
Of course,
They're
and
Big Daddy.
They're Big Daddy, and it's this like aloofness that they have is it's
Yeah.
always been upsetting to me.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah.
No one should be Big Daddy. And
True.
the people in Congress should be humble. And that's one of the things about Obama. Say what you want about Obama, whether you like his policies, as a human being, that guy conducted himself better than any president ever. The way he spoke, the way he interacted with people, the way he even responded to criticism. You know, we're not just I'm not talking about his policies, and you might hate
the classy
Affordable
individual.
Care.
Yeah.
As good as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Which is why this Trump thing is in such direct contrast. When he's yelling the other day at some reporter and he said, you know, you're fake news. He used that again.
I know, man.
He said, be quiet, fake news, or something like that.
Well,
When
I
he
think
was talking about something.
You know, we can like conflate the two. Like, if you want to talk about policy and effectiveness of an administration and just personal conduct. Like, let's say you take all the politics out of it. That's what bothers a lot of people to this moment still.
Yeah.
If you just even separate politics, which a lot of people are in favor of, just the way he conducts himself. Some people love it. Let's be honest. Some
It's
people love it.
very small amount of people love it. I
Right,
think
but a
they
lot of
thought
people
it was fun
are
before he's the
bothered by it.
president. Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying before, there's no debtor's prison.
Yeah.
There's no debtor's prison. When I first got into comedy, I was getting divorced. I was getting squeezed by an attorney. And as much as I never forget the first day I ever missed sending a payment for anything. Like, I'll never forget how shitty I felt
terrible, right?
that my credit rating, everything I had worked all those years was going down the toilet. And then at that point, I said, if I'm walking on ice, I might as well dance. I mean, I was just buying cars and fucking around. And you know what? They couldn't throw me in jail for all that shit. But one night, Discover closed my account.
Yeah.
And I went home and opened up my drawer, one of those, because when you want Coke, you get fuck Einstein. You get creative, Jack. I went home and I opened up a drawer and I saw those checks, those 3 checks that Discover sends you.
Yeah.
When you first get the card. I had a bank account, a Bank of Boulder, whatever it was called, and I had my car financed through there. I went in there. They had a 24-hour drive-through. I went in there at 1 o'clock and signed that check over to myself for $1,000. I waited for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden an envelope came out with 10 hundreds. I peeled and did 90 out of that. Monday at 9:01, Discover called me and said, you got an hour to bring that fucking money back, or we're going to charge you with fraud.
Ooh.
And I was put up against the thing. I went to the bank. I told them it was a mistake. I didn't know. And one lady said, you know what? I'll take that 1,000. I'll give you the 1,000, but I'm going to put it into your car loan and raise the payments by $25. For every 1,000, it's $25. And that's the only reason why I didn't go to jail for that fucking thing. So they don't put you in jail for being in debt. They put you in jail for deception. You know how they get athletes and entertainers? You know what their biggest downfall is? When they go to Comic-Cons and those autograph signings.
Oh, they don't get paid for those, or
No.
they get paid for those and don't report it.
There's 2 things. There's the people who get $5,000 flat, and you take pictures all day. Then there's the people that get $10 for their T-shirt and $15 for a headshot and a smile.
Yeah.
Those $15 go in your pocket, bro. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is you have to give a percentage of that $15 to the guy. It's like when you sell merch at a comedy club now. All of a sudden now they want 8% of your merch. Same thing. Well, that guy reports it, but Pete Rose, I'm just saying, Pete Rose, I have nothing against Pete Rose, he's my dog. Pete Rose, he just puts $15 in his pocket.
Right.
Or $60, or he took 10 pictures, it's $150. That's how they come get you on all those autograph things.
Right. What's going on here? What's this?
This is from an article. That's what he's talking about. This article is talking about walking away from Comic-Con with garbage bags full of 20s. This guy said he can make up to $250,000.
What? Shit.
So I say he didn't feel a need for representation because he's walking out with a bag full of cash.
What? Who is he?
It's like an unnamed person. He's a source deeply involved.
Stephen Arnell, who became so enhanced to the festival business that he started his own talent agency.
He's the star of The Arrow, the show The Arrow.
Oh,
it's like a comic book show on Netflix.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Fuck. That seems very strange,
So
though.
Comic-Con, you pay for a booth, and then I think you give them 3% of your overall take.
Don't you think that's really bizarre, having people pay to come and meet you? That seems real strange.
I think it's weird to charge somebody for a picture and charge somebody to sign. I mean, I guess the signing thing, I understand there's a bit, especially in sports, you know.
I can
it's
understand
a
if you're
business,
selling a book,
but
or if it's your thing that you're signing.
Whoa.
$500,000 a weekend. Who the fuck gets that?
Guy from The Walking Dead, Norman Reedus.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
$200,000 guarantee. Take pictures?
$200,000 guarantee and
So I know
pocket
people who-
$500,000 a
right.
weekend.
I know celebrities who get a flat, and the ones that are on their way real low, like if you want Lucille Ball or like if you want Happy Days or something like that, they get piecework.
I just changed my mind. I'm all in. I'm
Yeah.
doing it next weekend. I'm taking pictures with your mom, your
You know,
kids.
I mean, no. You would never do this, Joe Rogan. Like the other day, a friend of mine called me and he goes, I was at my dad's hospital room the other day, and it was the funniest thing. Joe Rogan, a young Joe Rogan, sitting around a campfire with people. He goes, I never saw that episode. And all of a sudden he pulled out a bag of dicks and he made everybody eat dicks. He goes, me and my dad were fucking howling. You know, for some people in 10 years, they're going to come to you and say, can I take a picture for $10? I love Fear Factor. We love, and you're sitting there going, what the fuck are you
let's
talking
take a
about?
picture.
I understand that.
I think it's a bad
It is.
relationship.
It is, but some people, when they go to Comic-Con,
Yeah.
they take their whole savings out. They're ready to go down
I'm
there.
sure. I understand
And it's a
that.
shame.
I understand
It's a fucking
that.
shame, but
I
there's
don't have
people
any
who do it to
problem
make
with
a
it.
living. What are you going to do?
I don't have any problem with it, and I don't have any problem with people doing it to make a living.
No,
I just feel
no.
like
But I was just saying that's how you get nailed. That's how they nail you.
Don't you think,
forget to
though? I mean,
report that.
could you see yourself doing that?
I'm too embarrassed.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, when I was a coke fiend, I couldn't sell CDs after a show. So what does that tell you?
Why couldn't you?
I'm just too embarrassed.
Oh, wow.
I have a
that's
hard
crazy.
time. I'd rather shake your hand and hug you and get the fuck out than you not come up to me because I'm selling a $25 CD.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about you, Joey. You know, I've been friends with a lot of guys that had substance abuses. Like I told you about my friend Johnny from back in New York. And one thing that you both had in common is that even though you had like these issues, there was never a point where I felt like I couldn't trust you with something. You know, like you never would sell anybody out. You would never, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not a type of person who would do something to hurt somebody else so that you could profit because you were sick and you needed drugs. That was never you. You always had like a strong code of ethics.
If
You know?
not, it would get out that you were worth nothing. I was a junkie that had problems, but when Ari started telling people he's a junkie, but he pays his bills.
Yeah,
Like,
well, you know,
people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
you were just a guy struggling. And I recognized in you a lot of what I had seen in my friend Johnny, was that there's a lot of people that are brilliant people that for some reason the fabric of society just doesn't fit them. It just is, there's something about getting up in the morning and going to a job and, you know, whatever it is about the way they were raised, the experiences that they had, just who they are inherently from birth, whatever the factors are. There's certain people that just can't do the regular thing, and they just need to find this other thing. For you, it was obviously stand-up, and once you found that other thing and became successful at that other thing, that's when your whole thing changed. That's when you were, I mean, it was really proof positive. I mean, for sure you learned a lot of things about life. You got older, you got wiser, you know, but I think a big part of you becoming more comfortable and more relaxed and becoming who you are today is that you started becoming successful as a comedian. And when you started becoming successful as a comedian, like 10 years ago, things started really ramping up for you, a noticeable relaxing of you, a noticeable change. Because you realize, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. The problem is when this isn't working. And then you think, well, maybe I should go back to selling cars. Or maybe I should get a job in a factory. Maybe I should do something 3 or 4 nights a week, just bartend, make a little extra money, lighten up the load on the family. That when those types of things start fucking with you, and that's when you start doing coke. That's when you start going crazy. That's when you stay up late. That's when you fuck off. That's when you make big mistakes. Like, you're unhappy. You're upset. You're in the wrong groove.
It wasn't the external struggles as much as the internal struggles.
Or maybe all of it together combined.
This November is going to be 10 years that I haven't done a line of coke. I still remember being in Cobb's.
That's amazing.
With you the January after the November. And you're like, you haven't done it in 60 days. And I wasn't sweating it out.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't trusting myself.
Right.
I thought I could snap at any minute. Some chick with hot tits with a gram of coke could throw me off.
Yeah.
You know that? But it never. So I'm going
I've
up
never
on
even
10
done
years
coke, and I'm suspect.
for you got to remember, bro, for me, it wasn't about success or selling tickets. For me, it was just doing something with my life.
Right.
Where I'd come from, all I wanted was just to do something with my life. If I could pay rent, feed the cats, smoke pot, and do spots, that's a lot better than what I used to do.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than the life I had. You understand me? Even if I don't go on the road and I'm not Louis C.K., and it didn't matter to me. Just that I didn't have to carry a gun or worry about people knocking on my door. I was like Richard Guillenovson's Gentleman. I had nowhere else to go.
I got nowhere else
So I might as well go to the store and do that stupid spot at 12:45, and look what happened. You just keep showing up.
Yeah, man.
That was a big part of it, but another big part of it was getting you on the internet. That was the thing. So we got a chance to show people what I already knew, you know? But like the only way for you back then to get exposure was you had to do something conventional. It's the only thing that existed. They had to put you in a movie or put you in a TV show. And you got in a few movies and you got in a few TV shows. But they didn't get to see you as Joey Diaz.
No, they didn't.
They got to see, but they got to see you as like some fucking character actor, and you know that mob movie with Robert De Niro. But there's a big difference between that and you like this you.
Yeah.
Just it took the right thing for you to be this you. You know, it took like the internet. But
No, the internet has, like, for Joey, is the best medium ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's exploded, man.
well, for you too.
no, it's gone. Yeah, but I mean,
for you
I have
too.
fun
I mean,
on
think
that.
about
I
you,
love
Tom.
having fun on that.
yeah,
You're-
for
I
sure.
like it. I like it.
You're
Of
just
course.
as good of an example. Like you don't have a lot of success outside of the internet.
No, that's true.
The
That's
internet
true.
has been your shit, man.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
think about it. You didn't have like a long-running television series
No.
or a series of movies or anything you did.
No,
and
stand-up, yeah.
But you're selling out places that a lot of those guys can't even fuck with.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
All the time because of your podcast, which is, if you haven't seen it, it's your podcast with your wife is one of my favorite podcasts. It's so fucking consistently silly.
It is
You
very
guys
silly.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And people get silly when they get on it.
They do, yeah.
And then, you know, I start like seeing things like, oh, this is like your mom's house bit. I need to send it to Tom.
Yeah, you
Like,
sent me a couple good ones.
I can't tell a story about taking a shit without 90 people hitting me up the next day telling me that was the most brilliant story in the world. We're going to send it to Tom Segura. Anytime I tell a shit
I know
story,
I'm the shit comic. It's
or
awesome.
I fart myself or something disgusting. And 2 days later, sure enough,
I'm
you're
serious.
playing the fucking YouTube video.
That's true.
And howling
Yes,
with your wife.
it's
I'm
true.
howling. I'm like,
We
these
played
fucking-
Joey telling shit stories for sure. And he told us about when he shit in his backyard and somebody thought a bear had come.
I never forget the lady. She would she would let her dogs out every day at 5, and then she would clean up. They were all French poodles.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're
I
like
can see
little
the dogs'
it was-
asses high up in the air. We're just reeling back from the shit. Like, what the
She
fuck?
It's a
went like
mountain of
this.
shit.
Joe Rogan. She looked at it, and she was like 58, so she squinted at the shit up against the wall. But here's what's beautiful: I took a shit and I put my back against the wall. So when I shit, when you shit outside, it's not going to be a decent shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be like explosive. Like so when I got up, it looks like somebody got shot in the head. There was shit all behind me on the wall. So she's sitting there with her little French poodles and her little chihuahuas, and she's looking at the wall like, what the fuck happened there? And all of a sudden, she actually walks up close to it and squints and looks down on it and looks around and runs in the house. I'm watching all this. I can't breathe. And now I go to the computer because my wife's very decent. And I'm sitting there for a half hour. And then my wife comes in and she goes, were you home all day today? I go, yeah, why? She goes, I just had a conversation with Susan. She wanted to know if you heard anything in the backyard because some animal took a shit back there. I went to get sushi. Like, you ever go get sushi and eat a lot of it? And the rice pushes everything out of your ass.
Yes.
And you had plans to go get to a weed store. You were going to go to the post office. But I made a detour. I planned to go home, but I left the house key in the house. So I had to climb around the window. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So when I pulled myself up, I actually landed with my stomach on the window.
And now you really got
Which
shit.
made it push it out more. Like and I'm fatter than fuck, and my hands are struggling in the window, and my little fat feet are on the other side, and the cats are meowing at me, scratching at me, right? And I'm like, it's me, you fuck. And so I ran down the stairs and shit outside. Oh, I couldn't get in the house.
Oh my god.
The best was the night I took a shit in Fabian's backyard after a 5-hour drive from Colton or some weird town.
Didn't he not talk to you after that for a
Yeah,
while?
for a while. I took a shit, and then he ran over it with his car, and the whole backyard smelled like sewage waste. I go over there the next day. He goes, it smells back here. Let's talk in the house. He goes, I don't know what happened. And you can see the brown shit. He smushed it with this tire, and a bunch of flies were around. He didn't talk to me for a month after that. Who takes the shit in somebody's backyard?
How did you find out it was you?
Because I told him the truth. I felt bad. What am I gonna lie to the guy?
Oh, that's hard to clean up too.
Wow. Yeah, shit.
You can clean up dog shit. It doesn't even make you gag.
But human
But
shit?
bum shit.
Yeah.
If you had to clean up some wino shit, if you had to use one of those scrapers.
Yeah. It smells so much stronger, man.
We're gross.
It's so much
No.
more gross.
When you take a shit, it's okay. It's till you cut it in half. You ever
Right.
cut a shit in half?
No.
When that fucking
I think I'm
when
gonna
that
throw
milk
up.
when that Reese's peanut butter fume leaks out. Yeah. Oh my god.
He's like, I've done studies.
No. When you go to jail,
You ever
it's
cut shit in
hysterical.
half?
When you go to prison,
You have to cut the shit.
you have to shit like in a tube while people are watching TV. Like when you go to county jail, you shit right there. So black guys will be laying there watching TV with their feet up, and all of a sudden they smell a little shit, and they're like, "Put some water in that hole, motherfucker!" Like they'll just yell it from the other side of the fucking prison. Put some, because that means you took a shit and you're sitting there, and the shit's permeating. So in prison, as soon as you shit, you got to put water on it.
Yeah.
But there's some bathrooms that only give you 20 ounces of water a day. So whatever time you flush, it's got to be a good flush. You follow me?
I
So
do
if you take
follow
a
you.
piss, sometimes the piss has to stay there until the next day until you take a good shit. But when you take a shit in jail, bro, that's what they'll tell you.
Put some water on
Put
it.
some hole in that motherfucking hole, dog. I can smell that shit right now. I'm trying to watch Oprah. But that's what smells. Once the hole
Yeah.
sucks it, it's like when you go to Vegas.
Yeah.
They have that sucking action.
Yep.
Well, if you take a shit this big, that's 34 inches, once that sucking thing, it breaks. It looks like two nunchucks. Once that breaks, it's over.
It's over,
And they
yeah.
put the bathroom right by the door, the front entrance. So
Yeah.
you can't have nobody come over.
Right.
That's why I always go downstairs.
Take a shit?
Yeah, I don't shit in my bathroom in the hotel no more because it kills the whole room for 2 hours.
We worked at the House of Blues in Vegas, and
Yeah.
Joey left an onshore shit. You know what an onshore shit is?
What?
It's like he was so fat at the time that he couldn't sit down in like the regular toilet. You were
What?
like, what were you like?
400, 415.
He was
Fuck.
giant. He was giant. So when he would take a shit, he would have to balance himself mostly on the very edge of the front because his ass was so big.
Wow.
He didn't shit in the water.
Wow.
He shit on the deck.
No.
Oh,
So
dude.
it would be sticking
fuck.
out.
So you
one of those
sticking out.
whales.
You ain't never seen a shit like that before.
So you couldn't sit in the toilet.
I would sit on the toilet, but I don't like my. Look,
He was on the edge.
It wasn't that I was fat. I don't like my dick inside the toilet.
Right.
Somebody's gonna suck your dick, and all of a sudden they're sucking the toilet. I tell my wife, I don't even let my wife pee in public because I want to eat her monkey. I don't want that monkey touching the other fucking thing. So when I shit in a public bathroom, I hold my balls.
Okay.
And I shit towards the edge. I don't give a fuck. It's somebody else's bathroom.
Right. So you're
Why
scooting
not just
forward.
hold your balls and sit where you are?
Because
Right.
no.
Why do you
I
gotta move forward?
because if I'm back there, I got crabs one time, and if they're sitting on the toilet, they'll jump from that toilet inward like they jumping over a
I
moat.
always thought that people saying they got crabs in the toilet is an excuse.
Well, sometimes you could get crabs from anywhere, but
But
why
I thought you
take
can
a
only get it
chance?
from hair. They only clean to hairs. I don't think they will stay on an actual toilet.
I think you're
Like-
probably definitely right.
Yeah, I would feel like that's one of those things. Like, how'd you
But-
get crabs? I took a shit at
Yeah.
the gas station. That had to be it. That's what I always figured it was.
No, so I always hold my nuts and shit. When I shit, it was long, and Red Band put ketchup on it. Remember, Red Band went in there and put ketchup
I
on it,
think,
potato chips.
unfortunately, I think that was a different time.
Okay.
This has not happened
This is a
just
different
once.
shit, yeah.
It's been many, many
So
times.
this thing's just like sticking out of
So
the
you
water.
go in there. There's a smell. You know how when you take an epic shit, it's an above water shit. It comes
Yeah.
out like the fucking Big Island of Hawaii.
Yeah.
just rises through the water.
Yeah.
like I've done that many times because I eat too much.
Yeah.
And I'll take these shits that are just like so big. They're preposterous. But there's a totally different smell to those shits because you're smelling raw shit outside of the water.
Right.
I mean, it's gone through the water.
Yeah.
And it's poking into
It's strong.
What is it about that makes you happy? What is it about
It's a
that
sense of
horrible
accomplishment,
smell? You're
first
like,
of all.
oh, there's a good one right here.
It doesn't come around that often either.
No, like
That's what I
above
think.
water shit.
Yeah, man, it's like a comet. Like
And
you're
it's-
just like, this doesn't happen all the time.
It's always diarrhea too. It's never like a super like thick log.
It's weird when the second wave is diarrhea. Like when you take like
Oh,
a night,
right.
you're like,
Like
good
logs.
shit, and you're proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I think I got a little more in there, and it's like, raw, and it's just a fucking
You know what that's from?
What?
Healthy eating.
Healthy eating does that.
Yeah, yeah. If you eat some MCT oil or
Yeah.
some coconut oil,
Why
or
does
some
it do
shit,
that to you?
Lubes up your pipes.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
silly
like-
because where I moved to now, I have the office, the back office, and it's connected to a bathroom. It's got a door. So I don't live with stink no more. I open the door in the morning.
Live with stink.
I got a backyard. I shit. I smoke the bowl
You
while
don't
I'm
shit in the
shitting.
backyard anymore.
No. But
Okay.
my door goes faces to the backyard. No,
Oh.
I have my own bathroom in the bedroom, then one in the
That's
kitchen, in the
nice.
hallway.
Yeah.
But I got one in
yeah.
the
Don't
back
put a
of the
woman
office
through one
now.
of your shits.
No,
Jesus.
I got
It's
my
not
own shower
necessary.
back there.
Yeah, leave her
I
alone.
open the back door. Fuck the fart fan. I just open the back door. There's a school behind there, kids playing. I'm shitting, smoking dope. I don't give a Frenchman's fuck, and it don't smell in there no more. I light a candle.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful. That's what you need, is a bathroom with a door that faces outside.
The worst is when you go over a girl's house and you go to use her bathroom and you smell matches.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh
yeah.
no, she was lighting this motherfucker up.
Yeah.
And then it just makes you think.
It's all you're thinking
She's
about.
like burning off fumes,
Her stinky
methane.
butthole. Yeah. Just stinky butt.
I
She's
hate the fucking
panicking
smell
about her
of matches.
methane.
You ever get to
fume.
a girl's place and then you feel the gurgles and you're like,
Ooh,
I've
that's
got to
not
rip
good.
one. Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
I've had that before.
I was dating a girl once and she had ferocious diarrhea. Ferocious. So she was
All
in
regularly
yeah.
or just
no,
like
no,
one
one
episode?
time.
Yeah.
And she went to the bathroom and she just turned on the shower and she turns on both things on the sink.
Whoa. Yeah.
And just she
Try to
like,
drown it
just
out.
had all that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I was very young at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I was super confused. What the fuck is going on in there?
I had once in college where I was at this girl's place and she was just like, "Hey, it's game on, like go for it." And I was
Right.
like, I have to take. I could feel that it was a diarrhea shit, like an explosive diarrhea shit. And I also realized there was no way to do it. That it would just be a black toilet when I was done, and that there's no way I could cover it. So you know what I did?
What?
I went back to my place. I was like, I'll see you some other time or whatever.
Right.
And the next day, her friends were like, "You're like the fucking like." They gave me credit. Like, that they
you
thought
were a
I was
good guy?
that I was a good guy. They're like, "You're awesome," and I was like, "No, I
Wow.
had to take
Yeah,
a
girl. You know why
crazy
girls do
shit."
that? Because they're not getting fucked, and they don't want their friend to get fucked.
Right.
And so they use reverse psychology
Yeah.
on you. You're an amazing guy.
I got an
hope
amazing
you-
guy credit.
I hope you wait forever.
That's so cool that you left.
Not even when you get married. Tell her when you get married, you love her so much. You tell you want to have sex after you're married.
Never.
Because it's not about that.
Right.
It's about real love.
Yeah,
Like
well-
Twilight love.
If I had had bowels that were intact, it would have been a different story that night. But
Bowels?
Bowels.
Oh,
My
bowels.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a time when you know that it's, and the sensitivity of your inner asshole region
Oh
is
man,
amazing.
It is. It knows.
Yeah, especially when you go to seep out a fart, right? When you're like about to cut a fart, and then all of a sudden alarms start going off. You're like, oh no,
Oh yeah.
oh no, and you got to clamp shut. You're like, Jesus, what is this?
We were having this debate yesterday about why are they sometimes hot? Like, why is it hot? And then why do you know that hot's gonna smell bad?
Spicy food, bro.
But is that what it is
I would
solely?
imagine.
I don't know. I remember I was telling you guys that one time my freshman year I didn't take a shit for a week and a half. I was addicted to steakums with American cheese and a ride of French fries.
Wait a minute.
Listen to me.
How long is that?
This
10
is
days?
That's a
10
long
when I
time,
was
man.
When I was
How
a
are you
freshman,
alive?
I played freshman ball and we were playing Patterson East Side. That's
Wait.
just a jungle of a school. Like you got to be careful when you go in there. And we went there to play the Christmas tournament.
Wait, what kind of ball are we talking right now?
Basketball.
Oh, basketball.
And I hadn't taken a shit for like 10 days. I was backed up something. I took acid, something fucked my stomach up. And I didn't tell nobody. In those days, I was really scared of doctors, and I wouldn't say shit to nobody. And on the way home, we got on the bus. And while we were waiting there, my stomach started hurting. And I said, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I'm going to shit myself or fart, but let me just take a chance.
Good move.
And I blew this fart, Joe Rogan. That was so bad. Right? We were on a bus and people started running, you know, the school buses? People started running to the windows, right? To swing down the bus windows. But here's what gets better. I farted again. And the teachers were going, "Oh my God, he's changing flavors." But the worst, but the worst thing was the cheerleaders were crying. That's how bad it smelled. They were sitting in front of the bus going,
Wait a minute, he's changing flavor.
One of the teachers yelled out, "Oh my God, he's changing flavors." That's how bad these farts were.
That's your next T-shirt.
The
Oh my
whole-
God, he's changing flavors.
The whole bus stunk. And I'll never forget looking at the cheerleaders, and they were like, "Oh my God, we've never smelled like this before." It was fucking god awful.
I wrote a blog about one of Joey's farts once.
Was that on a plane?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I read that.
It's called Happy Pills, and it was. I was thinking about. I was looking at this ad. Here, take this. I was looking at this ad for antidepressants.
Oh, my God.
You know, it's some girl dancing around a field of wheat and shit. You know those ads.
Yeah.
And
I'm good.
I was just thinking about like what what depresses people and how crazy pills are and how crazy. Oh, it's still up there. You can still find it. Anyway, at the end of this is a really like me. We're both of us are barbecued. I don't know what the fuck. What do we eat? Edibles? Some sort of edibles?
It was in the beginning, lollipops.
Yeah.
It was way in the beginning of.
We were crucified.
And Rogan was asleep.
Yeah.
He was going in and out, but he wrote on the blog, and I don't even have to look at it to remember that the fart was strong. He's lucky I farted because it was a lot better than the Antonio Banderas movie he was watching. Something to do. There was an Antonio Banderas movie now.
I don't remember what it
I don't
was.
remember what it was.
But I do remember the lady behind you. I will never forget hearing her over the earphones.
Yeah.
I hear, "Oh my God!" There it is. Over the pounding sound in my iPod, I hear a woman in the row behind us cry out, "Oh my God!" I look over at Joey and he smiles. There's your fucking happy pill right there.
And you're right, Antonio Banderas. It says right
Told
there.
you.
Oh, what was it?
Some
My
bad
iPod is-
movie.
Oh yeah.
Teaching underprivileged youth how to salsa.
Oh, that's what I was watching. I was watching a terrible movie.
Terrible. We both were.
And Joey farted the fart of all farts.
Oh, man. Do you remember,
Where
by
it
the
puts
way?
you off the seat. You ever have those farts on the plane where you actually feel your leg? It's like you're in one of those chairs. When you're in a plane and it's going to go down, what's the button you push to throw you off
the
the
ejector
plane?
seat?
That's
Oh, yeah.
what it was. It like injected me a little bit.
He
Like,
digs his seatbelt into your waist.
oh my God, it was terrible. But another time I fought. I used to take the #1 bus from Jersey City to North Bergen to the high school. And we were on the bus one morning, kids, and there was a guy reading a paper. I could live to be 100 and never forget this. Reading the Daily News, and he had a connector of drool from his lip to the Daily News, and there was a puddle. He was on heroin. They would go to Jersey City those days and get methadone. So they would take the bus up north with us. So I'm sitting there, he's passed the fuck out. And the drool is connected to the Daily News, and there's got to be just 6 inches of puddle. This guy's been passed out for 20 minutes. I point my ass at him. I'm not sitting behind him. I'm sitting across from him.
Yeah.
And I lift up my hips a little bit. And I kept my asshole just pointed at him. That even if it wasn't pointed at him, it would ricochet off the chair and go straight into his mouth like one of those things. He's sitting there, and I let a fart go out. I could live to be 80. He lifted his eyes like this first, right? Like he went like this first, like, and then he wiped his mouth. And he's like, "Man, who the fuck farted?" He goes, "It smelled like someone went up somebody's ass and died." And me and my little buddies were like, what, in the 7th grade?
Yeah.
We're fucking giggling our asses off. He's like, "I should beat the fuck out of whoever farted on this motherfucker."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Jesus, man. Fantastic. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
This is why I hate people. This is why I hate when I read posts.
You gotta give me a second.
This is why I hate. This is the reason why I hate when I read posts from people going, "Are you sick and tired of blue comedy? Well, come down to the Stanford Theater on Friday night and listen to intelligent comedy. They call it thought-provoking comedy." And then I think about how many times I'm 54 years old, and at night I got a sleep apnea machine on. And there's a little needle in the sleep apnea machine because the hose punches air into your fucking mouth. So there's an escape valve that's the size of a needle. Do you know how many nights I will sit there and be half asleep and I'll need to fart and I'll wake up just to fart to see if I could smell the fucking fart come through that hole.
Do you?
Yes. If it comes through the hole, it's a tremendous fart. I just wake up my wife. Like, I go, honey, you got to inhale it. Like, it's that good. I'm 54 years old. That always makes me laugh, Tom Segura. That's why when people say to me, you know, like, I love thought-provoking comedy. Dog, if it makes you laugh, it's comedy.
Yes.
It's comedy. Stop with the fucking
Do you know that
start.
you almost hospitalized me one time from laughing so hard? Like, I don't know if you remember this. I'm serious. I don't even know if I could tell it. It was backstage. It was backstage at his show. We were somewhere, and you were like, "How's the wife?" I go, "Good." And I go, "You go, where is she?" And I said, some city in Tennessee. Maybe Knoxville or Nashville, and you go, Nashville, 96. And you started the story about working a club, and you're like, I just riffed, and between shows, some crazy shit.
Some chick who was talking, there was 20 people for the first show, Knoxville. It was a Comedy Zone show. I half booked it. Knoxville's a great little fucking town. Like a cute little Tennessee town.
Is it?
It's like hip. It's a football, like a college town. So I get there on Friday night, Joe Rogan. I'm headlining. I got 38 minutes. I just moved to L.A. and I signed with Creative Management, and they booked those rooms. So they were booking me out as a headliner. I was just dying slow dead. So what they did was they put me in one-nighters that paid like $275 a night. They weren't bad. Clark, Tennessee, you know. And we go to this Knoxville for 2 nights, and I go in there, and you know me, dog, I'm fucking crazy. First night I go in there, Friday night, there's 20 people for the first show. And there's a girl, Joe Rogan, that's a 12, with a guy that's a 4. Okay? And it's her birthday, you know. Meanwhile, she just turned 21. It's her birthday. Okay? Hi, happy birthday. What's going on here? You know, because once you start hearing noise, you have to react to it as a comic. And you go, what's going on here? You're 21. I said, you're very beautiful. And then she just went and ran with it and started talking about how her husband pimps her out. He would have fights on, and for $20 you could fuck her in the back room.
20?
The fights were on, whatever. I don't know. That on Fridays he would bring her to the construction truck. He would bring a truck with her to the construction site and put a mattress in the back. And at lunchtime, he would let her friends, and she's telling me this. It's like she's talking, and people are like just holding their breaths, like, what is going on here? This girl is beautiful, and this retard is just pimping her. So in between shows, I go upstairs to do a line or smoke a joint or whatever the fuck I'm doing. When I come back, I see her by herself, and we start talking, and what's going on? Oh my God, I had such a great time. I go, is that stuff true? And she goes, yeah. I go, show me the monkey. And she took me in the woman's bathroom, pulled down her pants. The girl had a monkey that was spotless. It nearly stunk. I ate it. I fingered it or something, and then she sucked my dick. That was it. I went back to my room. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I scored. I go back for the second show. There's 8 people. But by the time I go back for the second show, Joe Rogan, she's sitting in the back. She's 21, and she's looking at me like this. She's fucked up. And 10 minutes into my spot, because I was headlining, she starts going, I sucked the comedian's dick tonight. And her husband's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I sucked his dick, and he came in my mouth. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The cops had to hold him back, and he's like, I want my $40. That's all he wanted. He didn't care that his wife sucked my dick at this comedy bathroom.
Oh, my God.
When the cops came, he kept saying, man, somebody's going to get hurt if I don't have my $40. That's a $40 blowjob. Did you come in her mouth? Because if I wouldn't have come, it would have been like 20. All he cared about was the $40, dog.
So he told me that backstage at your show,
God.
and I fucking started hyperventilating.
$40 for his wife. This is the world of comedy, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world of crazy fucking comedy.
Jesus.
You think that's crazy?
What the fuck?
She's crying. Some other husband would have held his wife. and said, no, he didn't care. He just wanted the $40 for the blowjob. I didn't give it to him.
He's got rules.
Yeah,
You got to
stuck.
give him that. He's got like a line in the sand.
This is
He's got,
crazy.
He's got
shit.
a number. 40
Comedy
bucks.
is a fucking crazy animal. When you sit at home at night and you think about all the shit we've seen, we've learned a lot.
I don't think I ever laughed as hard. Well, that's probably
on
the
that
second
road.
time right there.
On that road, we've
When you
learned
told
a
me
lot
that.
of things. You learn a
Oh,
lot
my
of things
God.
about human beings. You learn a lot of things about individuals. You learn some. I remember I did American Home. It's a armed forces place in Idaho. It's part of the Triple Run. And as soon as I walked in and I had to go do a sound check, everybody kept looking at me going, "Hi, how are you? Have you met Sandy yet?" And I go, "No." And they go, "Ah," and they'd walk away. You ever see what's the movie with Eddie Murphy when with Boomerang?
Yeah.
When he goes to the black chick's house, it's 80, and the butler keeps laughing. Remember, the butler would go, she wants to see you in the kitchen. He would go, because she knew she was gonna rape him. So every time somebody would refer to Shirley, they go, "Have you met Shirley yet?"
Yeah.
And you go, "No," and they go, "Oh," and they'd walk away. Well, Shirley, whoever the captain of that base was, the head of the base, she was his wife. And if a band came to town or a comedian came to town, she blew him. That's it. That was the rule. Like he would sit out there with his fucking military on, with all his shit, and clap. And she'd be in the back, Zukalamink, to the whole band. I mean, this is crazy. So I didn't know about this. She came over and started talking to me, and then she started talking, "Oh, you're Cuban. I dated a Cuban one time. He had such a big dick. You have a big dick?" I mean, it was that quick.
What?
It was that quick. Like, she just gets to it. She's like 50. I was maybe like 31. She was maybe 50.
Wow.
And she just dropped behind the curtain, took the hammer out, and started sukalamink. I'm sitting there minding my own business, and all of a sudden somebody comes yelling for her, "Shirley, Shirley, Shirley." Now, usually Shirley would get up and stop sucking your dick. Not Shirley. She moved her knees. Like, I had knee on belly.
Right.
You know when somebody puts knee on belly, you're supposed to move this way?
Right.
That's what she did with her knees. She kept sucking and just kept moving this way. I tried to take it out of her mouth. She wouldn't let it. She's like, "No, no, no." She wouldn't stop till, and they're like, "Shirley, we're looking for you out here."
Man,
This is crazy shit.
I can't. I'm overstimulated. I feel like I need psychiatric treatment right now and an IV.
Oh, just finish that fucking drink, all right?
Oh my God.
Sukalamink is the greatest thing anyone's ever said.
That is the best word of all time. Minke juice, sukalamink.
Sukalamink.
Well, it's minkia. But when they say suka, they cut it short.
What is the word? What does it mean?
Minkia means suck my dick. Minkia in the dialect of
sukala-
Italian. Suka means suck.
Right, okay.
It's so weird how the more
Is
you
this
go.
Spanish?
This is Italian, Sicilian.
Really?
So the deeper you go down the boot, the more, is it closer to Spain or is it farther from Spain? The closer Italy is from Spain, when people from that area speak Italian, I don't care how fast they're talking, they can't put the wool over me because I can pick up every 4 words.
Oh, right.
So Sicilians say suka. What's suck in Spanish?
Chupa.
Chupa. You're in the neighborhood.
Right.
Sukalamink. When they say sukalamink, like, what are you gonna do today? I don't know. I'm gonna go out and get my minkia sucked. But sukalamink is just the short.
That's your
short
second
version.
shirt of this show.
Sukalamink.
Sure.
And then you got minkia juice. It comes at you however you want it. Cheers.
Cheers. When you hear those Latin languages, like you hear Spanish and you hear Italian, like those languages they're like let's have fun language. Everything has got a thing to it. It's got a rhythm. There's a way they talk.
It is fun, yeah. It's
When
fun to
you hear
listen
them
to.
talk, yeah. Especially not really knowing anything about what they're saying. I could pick up like 1 out of 100 words, maybe, right?
Yeah.
And so I hear them talking, and I'm like, well, which one was that? But so for me, it's almost just like hearing the rhythm of them talking.
Yeah.
It's like a fun, sort of a smooth, relax.
Buongiorno, signor
buongiorno.
professor.
Yeah.
When I get you an espresso, they talk to you and it's very heartwarming
Yeah.
and
All the
endearing.
gestures, too. All
Yeah.
the hand gestures.
Yeah.
You can always tell when a Latin person, across a room,
Yeah.
just by their hand gestures, and they start,
Grazie mille. Grazie mille. Like this, just hearing
And there's
that.
a lot of police. Like,
Yeah.
How long
thank
did
you.
it take you? How long do you think it takes you for you just to get the like? If you're in France for a week,
Yeah.
like it takes you 3 days just to get the. Like I'm not going to learn French in 3 days, but it must take you 3 days to get the jiv.
I wonder.
Like
if
when they
you
come up
already
to
knew
you,
French.
like if they come up to you and ask you what you want from the menu, like after you go to 9 restaurants.
Yeah, you're right.
3 days.
You get a little
should-
something, yeah.
Yeah, you get a little something.
Especially if you have like a Latin root, though. You know, like you're comfortable with it.
Does it ever bother you when you hear stories about Americans going to like Paris and like the Parisians thinking the Americans were dicks, the Americans like acting like assholes, the people from Paris? Like, what is that? Like, how did that whole rumor get started?
The loud American.
Yeah, like how that whole like U.S. versus Paris thing. You remember when they wouldn't call things French fries? They were calling them freedom fries.
That was
Do you remember
Bush.
that?
That was Bush era, right?
Do you remember that?
Yeah. These are freedom
la-
fries.
Like we're supposed, like it's always like the French, you know. Like there's always like some weird like right wing punchline about the French. How much interaction
I feel
do
like
you
it's
ever have?
inherited.
With,
Well, I think it's.
Yeah.
I think
Like
it's,
at this point, for me, it's inherited.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's every
Yeah.
country. Remember that episode of The Sopranos when they went to Italy?
Yeah,
And Paulie asked the
yeah.
chef, "Can I get some red sauce?" He's like, "I want red sauce, marinara." And the guy
Right.
looked at the other guy and he goes, "If you think these Germans are classless, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this guy here. Like,
Yeah.
if you- like they all have. Every country must have something towards."
Yeah,
I hear that we're hated across the world, but then a person like you or you traveling, you go, "No, bro, people are very nice."
Yeah.
They are nice if you are nice, and I think that's universal. People are nice if you're nice.
Yeah.
Pretty
You're
much.
thoughtful. People
Yeah,
appreciate it.
pretty much everywhere. People are nice if you're nice. You know, and the way you are changes the way they are. You know? Like if you run into someone and maybe they're a little bit defensive, but you're openly friendly, a lot of times they'll relax that. Whereas if you run into someone and they're sort of defensive and you're aggressive with them, then it ramps up and the whole thing becomes like some sort of a weird ego disaster. Same person, different person interacting with them, saying the same words. The whole thing about people and the way we talk to each other
Yeah.
is there's no one person responsible for an argument.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time it comes from both sides. And
Sure.
how you interact with people, even if you feel like you did nothing wrong. There's a lot of times like a big part of how the conversation started shaping itself. People don't want everybody wants everything to be black or white, right? It's either like if you got in an argument with a dude, it's his fault or it's your fault. But it could easily be both. It could
Sure.
easily be like just a mismanaged situation. You know, you might have been coming there because there might have been some fucking problem that they were supposed to fix on your car and they didn't. And, you know, you in your car headed to the Comedy Store and you're like, this motherfucker, and the light starts going on again. You're like, God damn it. And you get there, you're already a little bit ramped up. And you run into someone and then you're already coming at them at like a 6. And if you get in an interaction with them about like, hey man, you think I can get in front of you? I got to go somewhere. And you're like, fuck you, man. Right? That could happen.
Totally does.
You don't know
Totally
what
does, right?
You don't know. That's why I've always, at 21, I learned a very important lesson in life. You don't know what that guy's going through today.
No one does, right?
Before you
hard
give
to
that,
remember
before
sometimes.
you give that nerdy guy,
It's the hardest
the
thing to
finger
remember.
and cut him off.
Yeah.
You don't know if his wife just left him, his kid just told him she was a lesbian. You know this, and all of a sudden
As
he
long as
does
she's
have,
got a girlfriend,
He
I'm
does
cool with
have a
that.
fucking gun in his car. You don't know what somebody's going through.
Right.
You have no idea what's on their mind coming up to you. You know, one of the most genius things I ever heard was that the great Carlo Gambino never answered his own door. He always had his wife answer the door.
Whoa.
Because no matter how mad a mobster came over, no matter how, like he just got off the phone with this fucking guy and he won't give me 10 kilos, Carlo's going to resume this. No matter how mad I came into the house, his wife would stop you, make you sit down and give you an espresso and give you a biscotti and talk to you. So by the time you got into Carlo, you were slowed down and you could think. He was very smart that way.
That's beautiful.
He did that on
smart.
purpose. He always, his wife was like everybody's mom. One of those ladies that you go, hi, how are you? And come in, let me. So
That's why it's not good for everybody if men get together for long periods of time.
I think that people should, anybody who's involved with customer service should take some type of something to calm people down. Like people who work at an airport.
Right.
You know, there's got to be a system how to slow somebody down.
That's
Because
that's a brilliant system. Having a wife that's like a very nice person that sits you down,
Slows you
It's
down.
very calm,
Nurturing,
talks to
slow.
you, and you realize like, listen, this is what's important. This kind of friendship here, like half of the issues that people get into, it's a perspective issue.
Right.
It's like especially if you're like a mobster and you think someone's fucking you over and you're like, oh, you know, where's my fucking money? And you sit down, like, come on. Perspective issue.
Yeah.
It's most of what it is. It's like, how are you looking at your relationship? Are you trying to fuck this person over? Or are you trying to work together in harmony?
Yeah.
If you're just trying to work together in harmony, I bet it'll work out.
We all travel. We ever have a bad travel day and we get to a hotel and we're fucking furious, but that little lady at the counter made us laugh and forget all about what just happened.
True.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah, and she'll even do something that'll change your whole outlook for the day. Like she'll go,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, I knew you were delayed. We told the kitchen to save you spaghetti and meatballs, and you're like, you bad motherfucker, you.
Wow.
You know, so I like when that happens. I love when I'm furious and I walk into a hotel and somebody slows me down and talks to me and says, you know, it's really cool when people have that. That's a gift, by the way, to actually slow somebody down and be able to touch them and go, hey, man, it's going to be fine. Come here, let me take it, to detract them.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think you're
like
right.
if you
yeah.
have a business, you have a customer service representative, someone who meets people at the door, that person has an amazing personality, that shit is worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
It's worth a lot of money.
You can't coach it. You can't train it.
Yeah, and whether it's a guy or a girl, and I've met them on both sides. You know, you meet people that work in a certain place where you look forward to going back to that place to saying hi to that guy. Because that guy's just super cool. You're like, what's up? What's up, man? And like you've made like a legitimate friendship with this person. And that's possible too, you know? This idea that we all have to be constantly at odds with each other.
And I think even like security people, like when I'm in a restaurant or a bar or at a sporting event and I see a security guy, what's that word? Dissolve a situation.
Yeah.
Without throwing a punch, especially when a person's drunk.
A good one.
Yeah.
Especially when a person's drunk. Listen, I can talk to you when you're sober.
Right.
Once you got 4 cocktails on you, I'm going to talk to you once, and my patience level is done.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking done. But there's some people who stay calm, and they go, we know, man.
Yeah.
Let's just take a walk over here and talk about it, and you fall for it. Next thing you know, you're out.
Right.
No matter if your girlfriend's with some other guy, you know, they come rushing into a bar, and there's people who are tremendous at that. That's a great gift.
You know who can do that shit? Big John McCarthy. Big John McCarthy is the best at like separating shit when shit goes sideways in the octagon.
Isn't he a ex-police officer?
Fuck yeah, he is.
Yeah,
and he's a giant.
Yeah, he's a giant.
I mean, he's a big dude. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And when shit gets weird inside the octagon, the cop in him comes out.
Yeah.
Like if there's some chaos, like some crazy shit, he puts a fucking halt to that.
No more.
Yeah. Those guys are important, man. It's important to have people like that.
No, that is a skill, though.
It's a giant skill. And also be a good guy, which he also is.
Right.
Like Big John McCarthy's a hell of a human.
By the way, formally, congrats on 1,000, man.
Thanks.
That's really awesome.
Yes.
Listen.
Amazing.
Thanks to
Getting
you
this fucking
guys.
party started.
Thanks to you guys.
It's really incredible, man.
There's probably more, right? I think it's like 1,043 or something.
Probably.
Yeah, real ridiculous. There's a bunch of other named ones: fight companions, fight breakdowns.
I would never, ever dream when you started doing these
Me neither.
that they would have the impact that they have.
Yeah, let's just keep that shit null and void.
I just remember you like fucking saying like, people want to hear this.
I remember him
You know?
calling me up to the room and me yelling at Joe one night, going, are you fucking crazy? Who the fuck is home on a Friday night? 13-year-old is take that shit off. Take that shit off when I'm smoking pot.
We were in the green room at the punchline. No, Cobb's.
Somewhere.
Cobb's upstairs.
No, this was somewhere else.
Was
this
it?
was years
Doing
later.
Wait, this is doing a podcast?
Me, him, and Red Band.
One of the first podcasts we did was off this thing called Justin.tv.
Yeah.
Justin TV. And we did them in green rooms. And we did them back when there were cellular modems. So you'd be streaming, like, there wasn't like a lot of Wi-Fi back then. So we'd be streaming from like a cell phone hookup.
Yeah.
It was terrible, like real pixelated stuff. But we were like, this could be fucking weird. Have people like watch us get ready in the green room, talking to the camera. Like, this could be bizarre. So we decided to do a few of those. But Joey was like, get this fucking thing away from me. But that was a different Joey Diaz back then. You know, you were still uncomfortable. You know, it was funny with that. That was the thing that set you free. You know,
But it's
that was
also
the thing to let people know who you are.
At the beginning, when he was like, "Hey, dude," weren't you also like, "What the fuck are you doing right now?"
No.
I was like, "Are you like a bird collar kind of guy or something?" Like I thought it was like one of those weird, you know what I mean, things that people do. And I was like,
A bird collar?
I mean, like
was
just something where
very-
you're like, "What are you talking about, man?"
He
like,
was
I thought
very
you were
into it.
Yeah, and when
I
you did
noticed
it,
he would be on there at night, and I just didn't like it. I didn't know. But then Dane Cook became a megastar with MySpace, and everybody and their mother went on MySpace.
But that was before me.
But they were not
Dane
doing
Cook.
what Dane was doing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just thought by going on MySpace and going, I got free tickets tonight,
Yeah.
that was going to work. Dane Cook was communicating with them.
True.
And people would see the communication and go, wow, we could have live interaction and blah, 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 blah.
But Dane was doing that way before me. He was doing that on MySpace
But-
in like 2002 or something like
Yeah.
that, right? Wasn't it?
But
pretty early on, yeah.
But about in 2003, we'll check the lineup. We'll check the old calendars. We did the 4th of July weekend in Irvine. And I'll never forget that I said to you, do you have radio? And you go, I have no radio. I'm a little panicked. And that Thursday when we got down there, the whole weekend was sold out. And that's when I said, Joe Rogan's onto something with that fucking computer. Like, fuck this shit. Because my philosophy was,
That computer.
do you think Richard Pryor would go home at 4 in the morning, coked up, and get on fucking Facebook?
Ah, yes.
That was my thing at that time. Like,
Right.
He'd do it
do
with
you
sunglasses
really
on.
fucking think that fucking Richard Pryor's gonna go home and get on MySpace? So I was opposed it. But once I saw 5 sold-out shows in Irvine, the old Irvine, when it was known that if you didn't do radio, nobody's gonna show up there those days.
Right.
That was it. That was it to me. That was what made me a believer that there's something there.
Yeah. It's amazing the range of people that come up to me about your show, you know? Like all types of like fucking pilots, fighter. I've had like amateur fighters, professional fighters. The range of people that are interested in your show. You know what I mean? It's a really wide range of people. It's fascinating. Like it's really reached a lot of people, man.
I was.
You're freaking me out, man.
Why?
I was in Burbank the other day, okay, to get a haircut about a week ago. All right, you know me, dog. I went to jiu-jitsu and I had a half hour to kill. So before the haircut, I just smoked a joint. I was in my car on Magnolia Boulevard, up the block from Porto's, which is fucking packed. And I opened up the sunroof and I just started smoking a joint before the haircut. And I put a piece of gum in my mouth, and I actually walked to the crosswalk to walk across the street. And there was a lady holding a kid with another one in a thing, and she looked at me, and when she looked at me, I go, fuck, this lady smells me. You know, when you don't have a child, you don't give a fuck about reefer. But when you have a child and you see a mom with a child, you feel kind of fucking sorry, ma'am. And I didn't say nothing to her. She looked at me and she goes, oh my God, with the kid in her thing and with the stroller, she looked at me and she goes, blue cheese with you, or fuck your mother. I loved it. I'm from Buffalo. I looked at her and she just kept walking. But it was like the type of woman that wouldn't say that to me. With the kid and the pusher. She goes, blue cheese with wings to go fuck your mother. I love you. And she just kept walking. I'm like, oh my God.
Amazing, man.
What about the time we went to Sacramento and families with kids? It's fucking crazy. But the realm of the people and why they come up to you.
And TSA, don't forget about TSA.
TSA, but the realm of people and the reasons why.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's
That's
interesting.
what's always killed me. Like, I've been around for 20 years, and what made you come to my show is I told the shit about I told the story about taking a shit in somebody's backyard. I loved it. We laughed like you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what, when somebody comes up to me, it's always they came to a show for something different I said on here.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
It's amazing.
And like you said, the contrast. It's not just a 6-foot guy.
No, it's everything.
Steroided guy. It's a mom with a baby and a stroller.
I was saying, I have people that so want me to like give you things. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
They're like, because they always start with like trying to flatter me, and like they're like, dude, I think you're fucking hilarious. And I go, thanks, man. I love your shit. I listen to it all. I listen to it on the way to work every day. And I'm like, oh, thanks a lot. And they're like, yeah, man, it's so funny. Like, I love this bit and that bit. And I'll be like, it's very nice of you, man. Thank you very much. Like, and I listen to your podcast, and I fucking love it. It's so fucking funny. I'm like, thank you. And then they're like, hey, would you give this to Joe? That's their whole thing. I'm like, did you think because you told me all those compliments, I'm going to be your messenger? And they'll be like, no, I mean, just like if you could give it to him. I'm like, okay, sure. I get this request every other week.
What kind of weird shit?
It's always fucking packages and envelopes. Oof. Yeah, I don't open them, man.
Good.
Yeah, no. They go right in the trash.
I tell him to send them directly to you. And like the cup he gave me.
Don't even tell him to do that.
He gave me 2 cups. I gave one to Alberto and I gave the other one to you.
This is a highly ineffective way to communicate with people. Just sending them shit.
People think that I want to have shit in my car. Like, here, give this to Tom. Like, I'm going to have this in my fucking
Bro,
car.
I got the newest, latest bong. It's totally different than any other bong. First of all, you can drop it out of an airplane. It will not break. It's military grade. Bro, this is the bong. The bong to end all bongs. The catastrophe apocalypto.
You've had this pitch.
End of the world bomb. Yeah.
For sure.
Bro, this bong is made out of the same shit that Wolverine's claws are made of.
There's a closet in my office that I slide open. And I cannot tell you. I must have 300 black T-shirts from different
bands and shit.
Restaurants. Yeah. I got look at me. I got every protein powder and fuel and energy thing that you could give me. People come to shows and give me. I got more gis than most jiu-jitsu schools.
Yeah.
That's how many gis are given to me
and
mailed to me. I have to mail them back. My wife says if I see one more fucking gi, I will throw that shit out. It's just amazing. And your albums, because people know I like vinyl.
Yeah.
I come home with vinyl every fucking week.
Really?
Some of it is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
But some of it is fantastic. I listen to everything.
You do.
Do you have a hard time chucking out old shit?
I feel bad for people. I understand that they've worked for it. And I understand that they went out of their way for it. But if I haven't seen Duncan in 6 months and I got a Buddhist candle, it goes in the garbage. Like once Duncan moved to New York, I threw all Duncan's shit in the garbage. I only save mushrooms and MDMA for Ari. People come up to me and give me heavy drugs for Ari. Like, give this to Ari. I will bring it back on the plane for Ari because he's my brother.
Yeah.
What they come and get. Some guy gave about a month ago. Gave me a book about stars and.
Oh Jesus!
But when I looked, he was the author. That gets tossed. If they're the author, that gets tossed.
Remember when that guy gave me that book and I showed it to you, like How to Be a Real Man? And he
Yes.
wrote it?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, once
And
they
one
write it,
one of his rules was be 40. How to be a real man? He was just like the dumbest.
We went over it on your podcast,
Yes, we
right?
did, man.
Yeah, like
and that guy
for a long time.
He gave that to like a bunch of us. We arrived in Hong Kong, and he was like, "Here's this book I wrote." And then we look at it, and it's him on the cover, and it's all glossy, and he's like looking off to the side.
That was when I first did your podcast.
Yeah, I think you're
right. That
right.
was the first time I did it.
Yeah.
That was, how many years ago was that?
That was probably. Well, we started at 7 years ago, but that was probably 5 years ago.
God.
Yeah.
I do get a lot of neat shit though.
Oh yeah.
I do get a lot of.
No,
neat
some of
saw
it's
that
cool.
pipe.
I'm talking about when
That
people.
pipe that
Oh
you
my
have at the
God.
studio. Who made that thing?
A kid in Cleveland. the
God damn, that
Savage.
thing is good.
I get great books sent to me. I mean, phenomenal money books. I'm reading one right now that is the creepiest thing.
Huh?
The 3 Lives of Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
That motherfucker traveled with a 14-year-old girl, bro. Never got charged with statutory rape.
Really?
Just traveled with her for a year.
Jesus.
Like, she was just a runaway on the tour, like fucking crazy.
Is that true?
You know, talking about his house and fucking where he lived. He bought it from It was Aleister Crowley's old house, a 24-carat warlock. He was like the fucking devil and shit. He lived in his house, and you know, for some people, it was like a way to sell records. Not for those 4. Those 4 were onto something magical. You know, they were magical. 9 albums. But this book kind of like, I got to put it down for 2 days at a time sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, he's a fucking nut. That's what it's called. The 3 Lives. Look at
The 10 wildest Led Zeppelin legends.
read
facts
this
checked.
shit. Scroll this shit
Said this
down,
one's
Joe
true.
Rogan.
He
That's
dated a
fucking
14-year-old
crazy,
girl.
man.
The truth. Maddox was amazing, just 14 when she met Paige, though Paige did what he could to keep the relationship hidden. Whoa, that's true.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's weird.
He was crazy when they shoved a little, what they shoved, an octopus, a baby shark up a chick's pussy.
That's so weird, man. Like you could do that back then, right? Like you could do weird shit back then.
Yeah.
It makes you stop and think. Like what that is like the beginning of the information age, right? Newspapers regularly distributed, television shows on the news.
Yeah.
All that stuff was only like a few decades old when the 60s and the 70s rolled around. I mean, you really think about the timeline there. It's really kind of fascinating.
Do you ever think about the jump in technology from like you know how it cites that there's no Us Weekly there, right? There's
Right.
So things kind of advance, and now everything's monitored. And now, for instance, you can record a phone call, right? Which is like would be a difficult thing to do back then. Or you can have a recorder running on you. Do you ever think about how that the privacy goes away, and how to some degree we can't even conceive of it right now, but how easy it will be to record everything at some point? Like how it'll, we joked like it's in your watch or it's in your glasses, but it will be. Like
Yeah,
you'll
it will
walk
be.
out of every conversation and there'll be some form to document it.
Yeah.
It'd be a total loss.
There's gonna be some changes. I don't necessarily agree. I'm not convinced. I should say, not agree. I'm not convinced that they're gonna be bad.
To do that.
Yeah, I wonder like what's gained through this kind of privacy. Now I'm not talking about like privacy like corporations or the government being able to look into your life. I'm talking about we might get to a position as human beings within our lifetime where everybody looks into everything about everybody. Everything.
Right.
Finances, your day-to-day life,
Everything's
all
just
of you
revealed.
sexually, seeing you everywhere you go, no matter what you do. Like we could get to a position where there's no disconnection from any of us, where we're all connected to each other. If this keeps going the way it goes, right? So it used to be everybody lived far apart, and you had to ride a horse to get to the friend and say hi and talk to him, and hopefully he's still alive when you get back the next day. But there was no communication.
Right.
Then it got to phone calls. As things have ramped up, and now it's in your phone, and now your phone's in your watch, and now your watch can tell you who's calling you, and you can look at your phone and see the person. Star Trek type shit already happening, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. People are live streaming Facebook, no matter what they do all day. There's a slew of people playing video games, live streaming. People are tuning in, watching other people play video games. I mean, we're getting like deeper and deeper into this technological rabbit hole where it becomes embedded in your life in a way that was unimaginable before it was introduced. Same thing as cell phones. Before cell phones were introduced, who would have ever believed if you told them that you were going to get to a point in human history where it is totally common to see people staring at electronic screens while they're all sitting together at a dinner table? That there could be 5 people sitting around and they're not even talking to each other. They're just staring at this electronic screen, and that screen is compelling. You know it. I know it. I get drawn to it. You get drawn to it.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Might be some crazy news. Let me check Google real quick. You never know. You never know what weird shit has been happening in the world, and you get sucked into this. This thing is becoming a part of your life in a weird way that nobody anticipated. If it keeps going in the direction that it's going to get weirder in a way we never anticipated before, where it's not going to be just as simple as put your phone down and go outside. It's going to be your phone's a part of you. It's going to happen. Your phone's almost a part of you now. If you have to have it, like, I am connected to this goddamn thing more than I touch my dog. Right?
Totally.
I love my dog,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I touch that thing more than I touch my dog. It's weird. You want to pretend it's not a part of me, man. I can just put it right there. As long as it's right there. As long as it's right there. Don't go anywhere. I got you right here. That's basically a part of me. It's basically a part of me. How long before I let them open me up? Maybe there's a spot in my armpit I don't even use. This little spot.
There's a great short about that. There's a great short film about that.
Is there?
Yes.
What's it called?
I don't remember the name of it, but it ends up like under the guy's skin.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's
I
really
do
good. I wish
everything
I knew
I
the name of
can
it.
to stay away from this fucking thing. I charge it in a different room at night. You know, the iPad I bought to write, no fucking Facebook, Twitter, or nothing.
That's good.
Neil
It's
Brennan,
just-
tweet
you
that
write
shit.
on an iPad?
I bought an iPad Pro.
Do you have like one of those little keyboard
I
things
bought
you
the
connect to
keyboard
it?
with the
Nice.
case.
You like that?
Bro, it's changed my life. I used to have 3 hours of just shit time a day that it's not enough to work out.
So what do you write in notes? You use
It's
a notes
not-
program? What do you?
Yeah, I just write in fucking notes. And if I don't like the joke that night, I go back and add the tag.
Really?
You know what's real good? If you ever try Evernote,
No,
Evernote is real good. It
I-
allows
I-
you to use pictures, all kinds of different things.
Isn't it
and-
black out everything else?
No, that's a different thing. That's Write Room.
Oh.
But Evernote, if you write things like the things you want to remember, maybe before sets, you can write them down in Evernote and then sync them from your iPad to your phone and back and forth. It's really good. It's one that I use. All
I
the
just
time.
got this iPad Pro 3 weeks ago, and it's changed my life.
Yeah.
That's it. Changed my life. I could give a fuck about Twitter, Facebook, nothing. When I go to that coffee shop to write, it's just that program. I have everything else in there, but I haven't even programmed. I have the apps in there. I got my fitness plan in there. I got BJJ training journal in there, and that's it.
You know what
That's
I
it. I
think
don't give a
about the
fuck.
internet, man? I think about the internet like I think about foods that are sweet. Like, you can have them as long as you don't have too much.
Too much.
Don't
It's too much.
Don't get crazy. That's how I feel about even going online. I think we're getting to this weird point where we're just relinquishing our consciousness to this machine, relinquishing our consciousness
not our
to this
consciousness.
connection that we all enjoy.
It's not a consciousness. It's the consciousness we're all sharing about a certain topic. We all have to interject on what we think about Charlottesville
Right.
or about Trump or stuff like that. There's days you get on Facebook and Twitter and you're fucking sad. You get sad. Like, you get sad for people.
Yeah.
Okay, I make it a habit. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, no reason to be on the internet. You have a
You stay
life.
away from it?
There's no reason. The shows are sold out. Your family's at home. What are you going to go in there and tell them? This is my cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I give a fuck. So on the weekends, I don't touch it. I force myself. Don't touch it. For what? You have to have a life, man.
Yeah.
We are forgetting that there's a life. You ever go to a park and look at these fucking parents looking at their phones? You go to a park with your kid, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't take my phone out of the car at the park. Who's going to call you? Your manager? What are they going to tell you? What are they going to tell you? They changed your spot at the store from 10:15 to 10:30. If you're with your kid and your wife, you don't need your phone. You really don't.
Joey, you got to get into floating, man. How come you don't float?
Because I smoke pot and I think of this shit on my own.
Yeah, but it's different.
That's why.
It's not what you think
I
it
get
is.
I get anxieties.
Yeah,
Like
but
Becky
I know,
works,
but you'll be fine.
Becky works at the place in Pasadena, and we've been talking about a lot about it. I'm really scared about these little dabs of anxiety that I get from time
Joey,
to time.
you'll be fine.
And I
Listen,
get-
it's good for your health.
No, I know it's good for my health, but when I go give blood, like the other day I had to go give blood, no problem.
Wait, does weed make you more anxious or less anxious?
It smoothens it out.
Okay, so
When it comes to certain things, I have to see a window. Like, it's really weird
Yeah.
that right now there's not a window in here, but I see that fucking door. Like, when I walk up the steps at the original room and I get anxiety when a comic's on stage. It could be it could be an open mic and I'm next, and I start getting this this shortness of breath. I have to turn around and look down the stairs at the Comedy Store. Just by me knowing that I could get out if shit goes down, I'm okay. So I don't think a fucking tub's got windows, a floating tank. They seal that thing over your head.
No, they don't seal it. It's just got a door.
So that's what I'm a little scared of.
It's really easy.
I'm not claustrophobic either. I was in the cell. None of that shit bothers me. I just got to see a window.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's real easy. Like when you lie in it, it's right there. You just lift your hand up, and it's right there. The door's right there.
No, we have
you stand up, you open the door. It's all in your head.
You know, look what happened yesterday in Spain and Barcelona. What a fucking shame.
You can't connect terrorist attacks to isolation attacks that quickly.
But let me ask you a question, Joe Rogan.
I don't even know how that happened.
Let me ask you a question, my brother.
Okay.
You're an intelligent individual. You're an intelligent individual, Tom Segura. Jamie.
Yes.
You're not a fucking Phi Beta Kappa, but you know I love you.
Jamie might be the smartest guy in the room.
I know. I'm just teasing you. Jamie, how many people were looking down when they got hit by that car yesterday? Let's be honest.
Well, that could
65 people got hit.
But you know, when
Let's
people
pretend.
people are wandering through the street.
We have to start paying attention as Americans. You cannot live in that fucking thing no more. We cannot.
It's not smart. It's not smart to be walking around staring at it.
Fucking
But
day.
sometimes you have to look at it. You know, there's times where like someone
of course.
sends you an address, and you're meeting people there.
Then there's times
gotta
you
look
catch
at it.
yourself. You're like, what am I doing right now?
What am I doing?
I'm
all day,
surfing
all
the
three
web
of
right
us,
now.
all three of us have children. Do we want our children to grow up on a fucking computer, or do we want them to have life experiences?
Both. They're going to grow up on computers. You're not going to
No,
avoid it.
I want them to grow up on computers, but I don't want that whole lifestyle to be on a computer. I want them to go outside. I want them to get dirty.
Yeah.
I want them to have life experiences, even if, you know, the only way you learn about life is sometimes by having something negative happening.
So true.
Then these children that are on a computer till they're 18, and they send them away, and they fucking fracture.
Yeah.
They fracture. It's a different time now for children, guys. And we're parents. It's a different time.
It's way different. It's different in a way that I don't think anybody's ever seen before, so they don't know what the fuck to do.
They don't know what the fuck to do.
Tom's got to pee. Ha ha. Look how slim he is.
He looks beautiful.
Beautiful, sexy
I try
frame.
to keep it as normal as I can. I try to keep it as normal as I can. I never want to forget who the fuck I am, Joe Rogan.
Well, you won't.
And I don't want to forget it from my children and my daughter.
You won't.
You know, I don't want them. The other day I was driving home, okay, and I saw a little girl selling lemonade with her mom on the corner. It was 2,000 degrees in Studio City. I pull up to my house. I go inside. I get my daughter, and I get my wife. I go, let's go buy some fucking lemonade from this kid. All right, my daughter's going to kindergarten next year at a school that's like rated one of the highest schools, but it's a public school. Bert's kids go there, a bunch of kids go there. There's no reason to put your kid in these Notre Dames and all these $25,000. They want $34,000 a year for kindergarten.
What?
Come on, Joe Rogan. How is your child going to benefit? Come on, we're all intelligent here.
That's
$34,000. Monarch, Notre Dame, all those schools in the Valley, they want 30 G's, 2G registration form to sign your kid in. Really, Joe Rogan?
People want to keep their kids safe.
No, it's not safe. It's so you can tell your friends that your kid's at fucking that school. That's what 90% is. That's what oh no, my kids attend, and you're like, oh my god, and your kid ends up to be a fucking dummy because he's in school with other rich people's fucking kids, and they're all fucking dummies too. You know, they're getting raised by fucking nannies. I don't want that. I go to the park. How many fucking white kids do you see with Mexican women? Ain't that a fucking shame that all these Mexican women are adopting white kids? That's fucked up. That's why they didn't want Trump to build a wall, because they got to raise their own fucking kids. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's why these white people didn't want Mexicans to go, especially in California. Who's gonna raise their fucking kids?
Oh, Jesus.
Go to a swimming class. I go to a swimming class Tuesdays and Thursdays with my daughter. Jump in the front. There's no white parents with their kids. Their nannies are in the fucking YMCA with their kids. When your kid grows up and he's, what's his name? Milo Yiannopoulos? Yes, when he's one of those fucking motherfuckers. Don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me. And let me tell you something. I sucked a pacifier till I was 6. I was raised to be a little cocksucker, but I snapped out of it somewhere. Did you know that?
Yeah, you told me this.
When my father died, I was one of those little boys you see with their mom holding onto their leg. No go. I was one of those little fucking faggy kids. Okay, I sucked a pacifier to the age of 6.
Oh my God.
Okay, I had potential to be one thing. One fucking thing. You understand me? But my mother would not allow that shit to happen. Latin mothers don't play that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Latin mothers do not allow that shit. I couldn't wear scarves. You know, I wasn't allowed to wear scarves.
You wanted to wear a scarf? Like a Snoopy scarf? Or
like I was gonna go fly a plane scarf.
Or what's it like one of those Randy Couture scarves, which, although I wouldn't wear, I think on him is quite fetching.
No scarves, no.
You ever see the Randy Couture scarf?
No.
Yeah, Randy Couture will wear what I would call a tactical scarf.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
See, that's the kind of scarf that like a Navy SEAL would wear.
Yeah, PLO style, yeah.
Randy wears a bunch of those things. But Randy's such a bad motherfucker, it's almost like he's begging you to try to choke him with that thing.
Fuck yeah, man.
Like, come try to grab that thing.
Yeah.
I just leave a handle laying around my neck.
That should be the name of that album right there. That should be his album cover.
Come try to grab this scarf, bitch.
Come try to get the scarf, bitch.
You know what the thing about Crazy? He's such a nice guy.
Oh, Randy's
He's
a
such
great
approachable.
guy.
Yeah.
He'll talk to you about anything.
You know what? And his kid came to my show in Vegas and also has like a gym there. Coolest kid, man. Like him and his wife, I think both teach there too.
Oh wow.
Nice
Yeah.
nice
still
family,
fighting?
man.
His son is, yeah.
His son's
His
still
son,
fighting.
I think he was fighting in the World Series of Fighting, which is now has a new name. But yeah, he fought for a bunch of different people, right? Didn't he fight for Strikeforce? And then I think he might have fought for Bellator. Ryan Couture, talented fighter.
Hey, while we're at it, don't forget to remind you, has fucking Gino given you the CBD roll-on yet?
Yes,
What do you think?
it's amazing. How's that even work? Is that voodoo?
Dog, the other night I came home, I couldn't
Squirt it
move.
like a cream. You rub it on like spots that are
No,
sore.
my
Yeah.
wife moves it
Like,
on my
ooh.
fucking back after
Really?
I get out of the
Oh,
shower.
dude.
Done.
It gets in weird spots.
Yeah, done.
It must have some sort of anti-inflammatory properties or something like that. Do you like that Thai liniment? Anybody ever rub that stuff on you?
No, I never know.
Like Thais, like Thai boxers and shit. They're like you got to realize they're always dealing with like bones slamming into their legs.
Yeah.
And they're all sore and shit. And they rub this like Thai liniment. It's weird. It's weird.
It, like, heals them?
smelly stuff. I don't think it heals them, man. But it makes it feels good.
What's the
It, like,
one the
heats
Chinese
up.
use? The
Oh,
Chinese-
that's a similar one. Tiger Balm, like that
no,
kind of shit.
they have another thing. It's called something juice. And when I was a kid, I used to have the iron palm bag, and I would rub that on my hands and do the iron palm technique and shit with that. It's called something that has a weird smell to it.
What does this stuff do? Like when that stuff like heats your skin up, and you're like, oh god, like icy hot, like that kind of shit. What is that really doing?
I have no idea. I think it's just tricking you into thinking.
You think so?
Almost. Yeah. I don't think it really is.
Someone who's a friend of mine who's a doctor describes it as a topical analgesic, meaning that it does something to the surface of your skin. But maybe is it psychological that makes you feel like it's healing up, like when you have a muscle soreness or something like that? Like
Yeah,
if you have like
I
a
think
little,
there's a
little bit
degree
of a
of-
wound,
yeah.
a little injury.
Well, there's a psychological aspect to that heat stuff. I feel like you think you're getting work done, you know?
There's probably a psychological aspect to healing.
In general.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, I don't think it's 100%, but I think you could sway it in a better direction.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like that's got to be what the placebo effect is, right? They tell you they're going to give you a pill, and it's going to make you feel better, and you're like, oh, this is it. This is the thing. They gave me the pill, and you actually do feel better, and even show signs of recovery, like immediately corresponding to you taking that pill. Like your brain has convinced yourself.
What about that dude you've had on the podcast whose brain is like a fucking healing serum who can walk?
Oh,
and-
Wim Hof.
Yeah, Wim Hof.
Oh yeah, dude. He
trains people. He teaches people how to do it.
He's as legit as they get. He holds the world record for swimming under ice.
Ice.
Yes. And by the way, he fucked up and couldn't figure out which way to get out because his retinas had frozen over because the water was so cold.
How does he do this?
He's an animal. He's a fucking savage, that guy, in the most beautiful sense of the word. He just has incredible breath control. That's a big part of like his whole entire philosophy. So the guy's following this rope, right? Once he's committed to it, by the way, like he's just got these little spots along the way where he can get some air. But he lost track. He couldn't see good anymore because it was so goddamn cold. He couldn't figure out where the exit is. So he went more than the full distance that was his goal in the first place, which was insane. All of it's insane.
Oh.
Fucking A, man. I mean, that guy's something special.
He teaches people, which is the crazier part even to me, that he's gotten people, train them to swim in like freezing water.
Oh, yeah.
Walk through ice, and also fight off a cold.
Yes.
The fuck, man.
I use his breathing technique before I go on stage. And when I do, I have better shows. This is what I think. I think you like kind of hyper-oxygenate and stimulate your mind.
How sophisticated is his breathing technique?
Well, it's a lot of what does that I find beneficial is like, and I've heard this concept in yoga before too, is breathing in, like take a giant breath and letting out, excuse me, letting out about 20%. And then breathing in again as hard as you can and letting out about 20%. Breathing in as hard as you can and then continue that for like long periods of time. Dude, I do that in the cryo tank where I stand in the cold air.
Yeah.
3 minutes goes by like that. There's a giant difference between when I do that and when I don't do that.
So you focus on your breathing.
It's a little bit of that. There's definitely there's something about people that are encountering any sort of stimulation where it's real hard to manage the stimulation without letting everything get fucking crazy and haywire.
Yeah.
And being able to manage it has a gigantic effect on what the actual results or the actual experience of being this cold is.
Yeah.
Because it's the same goddamn thing, but if you can control your breath and control your consciousness, and you're doing something that seems to be heating up your body too in a little bit of a way, almost like an internal exercise, because it's difficult to do, because you're taking these big giant breaths of cold air, and then you're letting out a little, and then you're taking a big giant breath. It's almost like you're flexing your lungs.
Yeah.
And when you do that, man, I mean, it might make it 20-30% easier to deal with 3 minutes.
Supposedly,
I'm not kidding.
In one of the Olympics, I don't know what year it is, if you'd like to check, Jane, whoever, the Russians beat the fuck out of the Americans. Supposedly, the Americans came out, walking out, the flag, and the Russians all came out going, hoo, hoo,
Whoa.
hoo, hoo, and they couldn't figure out what the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers. That's what they were doing. They warm up their lungs, and they look back to think about what they're about to do, the technique they're about to use, and to let the blood go to the back. Something fucking weird I read about that was pretty interesting. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But supposedly their cardio was so ahead of the United States because they were doing a
Like breathing exercises.
And I think it had something to do. Now, is that the guy that also has the record for the deepest drop?
I think it's a different guy.
That's a different guy.
That's a different guy.
He's the one that I read about. He's the one that wrote about that, how you have to prepare for all that stuff, and that it was learned when the Russians came out in the Olympics. And
it's interesting to focus on your breath. Like, I don't do it much. I actually been doing Pilates, and it's way fucking A, harder than I thought it was going to be, but B, like, you're thinking about your breath for like an hour basically. You're always working on your breath.
It's not a secret that like the greatest jiu-jitsu guy of all time had this crazy breath control.
Really?
Hickson Gracie?
Yeah.
He had, there's a bunch of videos of him. You ever see the documentary Choke? You ever heard of it?
No.
It's an amazing documentary about this guy, Hickson Gracie, who's almost universally regarded as the greatest jiu-jitsu player of all time.
Yeah.
And fought a bunch of fights in MMA and strangled everybody he fought. But there's this video where he's doing this yoga warm-up sort of thing that he would do every day. And he does this thing with his stomach that you watch him do this. And he starts warming his stomach up. He's doing this like fire breathing shit, but then he starts sucking his stomach into like the upper corners of his rib cage, like rhythmically, in this like almost impossible thing. Like when you're watching him doing it, like he's warming everything up, and then once he gets it warmed up, he starts wiggling the internals. Like, look at this, man. Who the fuck has that kind of control of your abdominal muscles?
This guy would do this like every time he trained?
He did it all the time. He did it constantly. He did this. He did yoga constantly, gymnastics. He did a type of yoga called gymnastica natural, which is a Brazilian sort of a a combination of yoga and a lot of like movements, like rolling and animal-like movements, natural movements. Amazing stuff. See if you can find the guy who created that gymnastica natural. So you give the guy credit because there's a really amazing style of working out. Yes.
No, McGregor's
yeah.
are into gymnastics. There's a couple Brazilian guys that teaching.
That sport is
workout.
actually so much more badass than it's given credit for.
Jiu-jitsu?
Like, no, I'm talking about like gymnasts. Like, and
gymnasts for sure.
And like or even like yoga masters. Their physical ability is so beyond, I think, most people's perception of it when they first, think about it. Like, these people are fucking psychos, man.
Professor Alvaro Romano is the guy who created Gymnastica Natural. And that was Hickson's thing. And there's videos of him doing it on the beach. There's a video of Hickson doing it, and you watch the movement, and you go, oh, this is almost like he's having it's almost like shadow fighting with jiu-jitsu. Because you're being able to put your body in these weird positions over and over and over again and balance yourself and control. Yeah. It's all about just controlling your body in any weird way that you could possibly encounter a position where you'd have to be strong.
Yeah.
Wild shit, because he was way ahead of the curve, man. Everybody back then was doing Mexican supplements and deadlifts and bench pressing and fucking, running over each other in training camp, beating the shit out of each other. And Hickson was just strangling people.
Yeah.
It's really a fascinating thing when you stop and think about it, that this one guy was the best and so far ahead of the curve. And so few people, even people that really got into jiu-jitsu, saw... Well, first of all, he had amazing talent, and his dad was Elio Gracie. Those are two giant factors. But also the way he trained and the way he controlled his breath. And his own son, Crone Gracie, who's world champion, one of the best grapplers in the world, can do all that stuff too. He has massive breath control, and he'll tell you it's all about your breath. Like, being able to control your breath is a massive part of your anxiety levels. It's a massive part of how you can deal with stress, how you can calm yourself down. You have control and power over your lungs. What is this dude doing? Oh, this is he's out there in the jungle. This guy's actually doing it in the jungle. Like Jacare does a lot of that stuff.
We all breathe naturally. Like if you look at your children, they're breathing the way that we're supposed to breathe.
Yeah.
Somewhere when we're 10 or 12 or become a teenager, we go off it. Like my breathing was complete. I went to seminars. When I went to jiu-jitsu,
did you really?
When I went to jiu-jitsu, I created so much fear in my mind from being on my back that I would immediately run outside and take my gi off and pee my pants. And most people would quit. Like I just pee a little bit in my shorts. Most people would have quit. Yeah. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So I kept going back, and I wouldn't improve. I wouldn't improve because of my cardio. Yeah, I've been smoking joints for 30 years. Yeah, I'm a fat fuck. Yeah. It was that I had to build, like I had to get Boss Rutan's mouthpiece to build my diaphragm, just to suck. I had nose therapy. All this because of jiu-jitsu.
That Boss Rutan thing is legit.
The Boss Rutan thing is legit. When I hit the bag, I use the Boss Rutan thing.
Yeah.
I think what they're saying is the best way to use it is just use it in exercises.
Like
use it like
push-ups,
as an exercise.
Sit-ups,
just do a few things with it and just blow some air out with it. Like
really good. It's really helped me. But that's how much I've learned about. Now I don't have as much anxiety. I breathe it out. It really fucking. So I've done a lot of reading about it. Mm-hmm. But that guy's article, about the guy that dipped the longest, his was the most interesting. I didn't know about
this guy Wim Hof
on the fucking ice and shit. But it's true, man. Now I'm rolling, and now I pull guard all the time just to be on my back. I want to be fearful.
Yeah.
So I just look back. Whenever I have a problem, I do a thing called hula-boo that the Indians did.
Hula-boo?
Where you look, hookaloo or something like that.
Oh, hukalau.
Hukalau, where you look up and you center again.
Yeah.
And that's helped me become a better comic. Sometimes you're up there talking shit and you just center yourself. And all these little things I learned because I joined jiu-jitsu. Like my breathing, I focus on it. When I roll now, I don't care about hands no more. I don't care if you choke me. I really don't give a fuck. I'm horrible anyway. I'm just learning to breathe all over again.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just learning to breathe. You know, I was grabbing you and trying to go for a cross collar, and then fucking like doing something completely different for a scissor sweep. And somebody's like, "Joey, you gotta exhale, brother."
Joey, do you do yoga for jiu-jitsu? Don't they have a class like that down at your
Alberto's.
schools?
Yeah. We do. I go early.
What's the name of the actual?
The thing is called Tac Fit, but I go to yoga with my wife once a week. We just go to. She goes 4 times. I just go with the Tuesday one just to loosen up from 10 to 11. I'm not that good at it. My
Tac
wrist,
Fit is our friends.
Tac Fit is Scott Sonnen and Galazzi, which they have.
Galazzi, who you did the podcast with me
They're
with.
fucking having a tremendous workshop this week. I can't go because they're fucking 9 to 5. I can't remember
all day?
that much shit. Saturday and Sunday.
What are they teaching you?
Kettlebells meets club bells with Galazzi and how it affects jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff like that. So last week I got to meet Scott Sonnen, and boy, he's fucking great, Joe.
He's got a lot of great stuff about
Great
club
stuff.
bells.
Yes, great
I've seen
stuff.
some of his videos and things.
Listen, I'm up to the 20 pounds from Aubrey.
Yeah.
I started, when I
good.
first got the club bells from Aubrey, my wrist was hurting with 5 pounds. I couldn't even do the simple 5-pound one. Now I'm taking 20s, holding them, going all the way back, bringing them back, and it's all focused on my back and breathing. That's it. I just do shit to breathe now. I don't give a fuck if I get beat up, because that's what was really bothering me, was the breathing, man.
You've been getting better at it.
Yeah, but now I'm getting better at it. Plus the sleep apnea had put a lot of fear. So being on my back and being out of breath, the sleep apnea would kick in again. And you gotta fucking, you know, so.
Do you ever do those shield casts?
What's that, bro?
Remember the Iron Sheik? Remember the Iron Sheik used to hold up those gigantic Iranian clubs that they would use for wrestling training. It's like it was a really strong move for wrestling training. See if you could find one with the Iron Sheik, because he was like the Iron Sheik. For people who don't know, he was a pro wrestler in the WWE. It was WWF back then, and you know he was. Before he was that, he was a super successful Iranian amateur wrestler. Like he was a legit wrestler. Like legit wrestling skills, and ridiculously strong. And he's holding these things. I don't know how much these things weigh, but it doesn't look like he's faking this because of the slow motion of how he's moving it. They look like heavy objects. I don't know how much they weigh, but this is a really hard workout to do. You know, I can barely do that shit with like 15 pounds, and I'm not bullshitting. With one hand, it's hard. It's a weird control thing, and you realize like how you're strong in certain areas.
No, those are definitely heavy as fuck, dude.
They're heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
You're strong in certain areas. Like that guy's super jacked. Who is that?
I don't know. Precious Paul.
He's got beautiful underwear. But it's a very difficult thing because you could be really strong when it comes to like a straight shoulder press. You know, like you could like hoist up like 70 pounds, but there's no fucking way in the world you're going to be moving around 70 pounds like that. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Your arm's going to fall off. Like if you have, especially if you have it in the form of a club, like you can't even get close. Like I can do a lot of shit with heavy kettlebells, but when it comes to like one of those clubs, I take 2 hands to move around a 30-pound one.
Right.
Which is crazy. Like if someone says like 30 pounds, like, do you bench press 30 pounds? Bro, that's all we got here?
Yeah.
Fucking 30 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
This is fuck. I can't even get a pump. Doing something with one of these clubs that's 30 pounds is fucking insane.
It's insane.
You have to be so goddamn strong. And that sounds weird because it seems like, well, 30 pounds is 30 pounds. But when you start swinging that shit over your head and it's long, and so like the leverage is going against you.
Look at him, dude. He looks
Yeah.
like a fucking bulldozer.
Dude,
man.
he was a bulldozer.
So this is the guy that's on Twitter calling everybody
Oh, yeah.
fuck.
Everybody's a
This
faggot.
is the guy.
This is him. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
He
God.
hates Nazis. I retweeted him the other day about Nazis. I love him. I was on stage with him in Toronto. It was one of my favorite moments as a human.
Calling people jabronis. And
Yeah, he calls
fuck
everybody
yourself.
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He fucking hated everybody. He's a good man, though. And he was a stud wrestler, but that's the dark secret of not just professional wrestling, but of just real high level grappling. It's like the damage that gets done to a lot of those guys' bodies is almost unfixable, and he's all fucked up now. He's got, you know.
Ric Flair's like not in a coma, but in like the ICU for like the last 4 or 5 days. Because
Yeah, I heard about that. And how old is Ric Flair?
60s, maybe.
Yeah. You know, they pay a price. They pay a price to entertain in that way. You know,
Definitely.
it's very, very physically violent. Just because it's not quote unquote a real fight, whereas like there's an unplanned outcome and they're just throwing haymakers at each other like a real MMA fight. Just because it's not that doesn't mean that they're not taking in a lot of damage. Every time they get hit with those fucking forearm shivers and dropped a fucking chair on them, like all that shit is fucking them up, man.
A lot of them have brain damage too. A lot of them.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's no studies on it, but I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure some of them avoided it. You know, some of them fought smart. And
what does he say? What does that boy say in your song? I thought it was Halloween. What does he say?
Which one?
Dropping motherfucking bees on them.
Oh, right,
what does he say?
Right. Ghetto boys.
Yeah. What was that line? Come on.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in so long. What song is that? Oh, it's the Halloween song, right?
We were taking up the place.
What's that, Jamie?
Playing tricks on me.
Face.
My mind playing tricks on me. Yeah, that's it.
This wasn't no ordinary.
Oh my God.
He was about 7 feet. Whatever. We triple teamed on him, dropping them motherfucking bees on him. The more I do, whatever. The more I swung, the more blood flew. Then he disappeared, and then my boys disappeared too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a classic, man.
Oh my God.
Bushwick Bill, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Remember when
And
there was
Willie D,
a fucking
Scarface?
the cover of a Ghetto Boy CD is Bushwick Bill with his eye shot out in a fucking, not even this one, it's another one, in the gurney on the way to the hospital. And it's like, We Can't Be Stopped is the name of the album. He got shot in the eye.
It's hilarious, man.
I think he shot himself in the eye. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Someone shot him in the eye. And he's like, we can't be stopped. And he's in the gurney. Like, look at this.
Oh, yeah, right. Damn.
Yeah. So he's on the phone. He's got one of them brick. He's got one of them brick cell phones from the olden days, from back in the Gordon Gecko days.
These guys aren't playing games, man.
And so he got shot in the eye, and while that's happening, he's on the phone doing deals. Doing deals. Still doing deals.
What was the conversation they had? Like, as they were pushing, they said, whoa, 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 whoa. Why don't we take a picture so we can put this on next album?
Yeah.
Yo, we got to take a picture here.
Let me take this bandage off right quick. Let me take this bandage off right quick.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah.
Now, who's the midget?
That's Bushwick Bill.
Okay.
And that's horrible nomenclature, sir.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't think you're allowed
Who's
to say
the
that
small
anymore.
person?
Yes, there you go. Thank you.
Because
Now I think differently of you.
John Wessling saw him fucking changing a flat once in Houston.
Really?
And he pulled over to help Bushwick Bill. He goes, how cool was that? I helped Bushwick Bill.
I met Willie D at a show once. He came to a show.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's got one of my favorite quotes all time. You gotta let a hoe be a hoe.
He's totally right. You gotta let your nuts hang. And
he really did shoot his eye out.
he really did.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a publicity stunt. Look at that.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Imagine that. Imagine that face walking up to you.
They were
like at a
huge.
store and just being like, I'm a celebrity. Oh my God. Fucking eyes shot out.
They were fucking huge at one time. The Ghetto Boys.
For sure.
2 Live Crew.
That We Can't Be Stopped. We Can't Be Stopped is a big fucking album. They were huge.
No, yeah, Ghetto Boys.
I used to listen to them when I was on the Treadmaster. One of them fucking Stairmaster things, whatever the fuck it is.
Rap a Lot, right? Isn't that the Houston label? Wasn't that Rap a Lot? They put Houston on the map for sure.
Yeah, Rap a Lot. That's exactly what it was.
Now, the guy that sang Big
Fifth
Butts.
Ward.
That's right.
That's right.
What happened to that dude with the
Houston
white
gets
dude
down.
with the teeth?
Oh, Paul Wall?
Yeah.
I think he's still out
I think
there.
he still makes teeth, for
He
sure.
still make teeth. He ain't
Definitely.
rapping though.
Does he make grills?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
still
he
does.
makes
Yeah.
grills.
He makes grills.
Joey,
you can get Paul Wall
we should all
made
get
grills.
grills.
No, I'm not getting
We should all get grills.
That's a good idea for real. That's
real.
a great Christmas.
Get some Death Squad grills.
Let's do it, man. Let's fucking do it. Will you do it, please? Will you please do it?
How many teeth? How many teeth are we
Let's just get a
talking?
row, man. Let's
A
just
full
do it.
row?
No,
Paul
like
Wall?
one, like tops or bottoms.
Would we go to Paul? And
Yeah,
have him
for
design
sure.
us
Paul
something?
Wall, what's up? Joe Rogan 1000.
What
There
if
you
it
go.
cuts your lips?
No, it's fine, man.
What if it gets hooked up on your wife's pussy?
That's cool too. If it's diamonds, she'll be cool with it.
You gotta yank it out of there.
How much is it for the denture grills? How much for
The
that one?
denture grills?
Let's see that one. What's the cost on that?
There you go.
Those are the ones you slide right
Look
off
at the
and on.
fucking diamond grill. Jesus
Damn.
Christ.
What about people that want to be diamond
That's
vampires?
$2,400.
Whoa,
That's not bad.
$2,400 for
2 gold.
jewelry in your teeth. Just to let everybody know you're not playing by any fucking rules.
You're
If you
definitely
meet a
not,
dude,
man.
right? If you meet a dude and he's a number of gold teeth, Like the number of gold teeth he has is direct proportion as to whether or not he's a pirate, right?
Dude, shoot your next special wearing these motherfuckers. Let people know what time it is, man. I'm serious. JRE, and then put the name of the special in the bottom.
I need a hype, man. I've been thinking of calling you on this.
I would love
Asking
to.
you to figure out like what's my best strategy. I'm trying to hype out. Is that a word?
You know what I would do? As soon as you hit like a big punchline, I would go, and that was fucking funny. And that'd be like to get them revved up even more.
Yeah, and then
Look
show
at
him my
little
grill.
fucking John. I wonder what he makes a year just showing up and going, yeah.
A lot.
Right? Yeah, like 50 grand a fucking.
I'm sure, man.
Well, wasn't that a
Little
thing?
John stays paid.
Was like Paris Hilton was like one of the biggest things she had was like those nightclub appearances. She'd go and they'd just pay her a grip of money.
Yeah, just
and
to
she
be
would
there.
just show up. And, hey, everybody, it's Paris Hilton.
When I lived in Orlando, they gave her some guy gave her a club. It was called like Club Paris, and
Oh.
everyone was supposed to come show up, and like because she was supposed to be there every weekend. And
Right.
She's not going to Orlando every weekend, obviously. So
Was that the idea that he had? How coked up
Yeah.
are you when you I know I'm fucking going in business with Paris Hilton. I got an idea. I'm gonna give her a club. I'm gonna give her a
Give
club,
this
bro.
to you. Yeah. Jeez. Is that cool? You see it? You see the connection?
If you're hearing this guy who made that deal, I'm sorry. I'm just joking around. I don't really think
Do you
that
remember
happened.
when they were fucking that hot? Like, when we were first going to the Comedy Store, Sunset, when you hit Laurel Canyon, it was bumper to bumper traffic.
Right.
Okay? It was bumper to bumper
Yeah.
traffic. I remember getting a ticket one time because my spot was up. I just went in the middle lane. There was a cop right there fucking waiting for me by the Standard. You know, that was when Hilton, and what's the other chick that was getting in trouble? Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, she was getting a lot of
They
trouble.
were out every fucking night.
That's true.
Causing problems. And then Lindsay Lohan went to the griddle before court one day. She went to that place that we went to.
That breakfast place.
Yeah.
Good place.
And that was it after that. The griddle was packed for fucking months after that because
People
they
found
thought
out.
Lindsay was going to go in there for breakfast every morning.
They had those crazy pancakes, right? It's like
They still
yeah,
do.
good pancakes.
I mean, but I'm saying that it's like 18 pancakes, and when they're like, "There's your pancake,"
They
and
fucking
it's,
kill you
it's
there.
nuts,
They
man.
kill you
They'll
there.
kill you.
They kill you.
They do.
They
Nothing
served their
like
coffee you
pancakes.
like. 15 years ago, they were
French
serving
press.
it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
French press.
They were.
Yeah.
That's right.
15 fucking years ago.
Good stuff.
Yeah, 15 years ago they had coffee from like Hawaii there. and
Yeah,
shit.
they were doing a good job there. I
Yeah.
just don't like waiting online for eggs, bro. I'm anti-waiting online for eggs.
I'm anti-waiting in line.
Me too,
Basically,
period.
period for restaurant. I mean, when something kind of reasonable, fine. Obviously, it's like your table. You don't have a table. You have to hang out. But when they're like, "This place is awesome," just an hour and a half. I'm like,
Have
nah,
you ever
man.
done
I don't wanna-
Franklin's Barbecue
No.
in Austin?
No, it
me
comes up
neither.
every time.
I can't
I'm
do
not
it.
staying in line. I'm not paying nobody $8 an hour. Get more fucking help in there. And come out and get more fucking waitresses. What's that hamburger place? They do it.
Yeah.
What's that?
In-N-Out?
They got people out there. I think it's just a place to be cool. Some people sit there for $8 an hour for you. Ari likes that shit.
Does he?
Sitting there, listen, nothing. I don't want to wait for nothing. When I go to breakfast in Hollywood, if I gotta go to the doctor,
Yeah.
I stop by the griddle first.
Yeah?
Before I get.
Is it still nuts there?
It's still a little line.
Yeah.
But if they give me any drama, there's a bagel place across the street that's tremendous.
Yeah.
I get a nice clean turkey, Bobby. They make fresh fucking turkey and put it on your bagel, Bobby. They ain't fucking around, Jack.
The best wizard job in all of Hollywood is Pink's.
Yeah.
That's the worst food I've ever eaten.
They are
Horrific.
goddamned wizards.
Horrific.
I remember
Horrific.
coming, like moving here, 2002.
That's the first thing you do.
And you're like, man, I gotta hit that spot.
Look at that line. And then
Yeah.
you get one of those hot dogs. You went,
Oh,
it's a
my
hot
God.
dog.
Yeah.
If you're into hot dogs,
No,
It's
actually,
not-
it's a
I feel
terrible
like you
hot dog.
actually
Well-
bite into it and you're like, this is amazing. And then, well, then you take another bite and you're like, no, I just hype
I
myself
wanted
into
it to be
thinking,
amazing.
yeah,
But listen, fuck us. That place is crowded every goddamn night.
Every day,
There's
man.
because
something
they're fucking
smart about
tourists, bro.
cooking. No, it's about cooking outdoors too. Having that open window, so you walk by and you can see them cooking the hot dogs.
I went in there and the buns were pink. The buns were yellow. The chili was god awful.
You know what
And
the problem
hot
is?
dogs were god awful.
The real problem for me is always going to be that I've had real New York hot dogs
too.
that snap when you bite them.
Sad
Yeah.
bread. Yeah.
You know, there's those type of hot dogs that they were making. The buns were perfect.
that's
They
the,
had like a
the
little-
buns go so far
It's
with
so-
burgers
it's a big
too.
thing.
You know,
It's a big
amazing
thing.
buns.
But there's something about when you snap into one of those and you taste that real fresh, real delicious hot dog taste. That regular bullshit hot dogs, They just don't fly anymore.
I hate,
Yeah.
like, when you go to a Dodger Stadium, those are the worst hot dogs you'll ever have.
You know, Adam Carolla's in some sort of a beef with fans about that.
It's a
about
horrible
Dodger
hot
dogs.
dog. It's god-awful. It's like you're eating oatmeal from American Airlines. You think you're poisoning yourself. Every time I get the oatmeal from American, I'm like, am I fucking poisoning myself? Those Dodger dogs are so fucking bad, man. They're horrible. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. When I was in the from junior year,
What's that word? Excoriates? He excoriates? The Dodger dog implores Rams to serve better beef. What is that word? Have you ever seen that word? Wow. Whoever you are, word wizard of Google.
it's my junior year in high school. Mr. Hildebrand took us to the fucking Sabret place.
What does it say?
Just to
The size
take us
severely.
through a little walk, you know, because what his job was to do was to every month to show us different career opportunities. And we went to this hot dog thing down in, like, we had to take a bus down there. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Okay, so there's 4 Puerto Ricans, and they got brooms, and they got yellow suits on, and they got those boots on, okay? And there's a fucking, you know when you work on a construction site, and you throw the sheetrock in the tube, and the tube goes down to the first floor into the dumpster? Okay, so there's a tube like that. And then there's 4 Puerto Ricans with brooms, and there's 6 Puerto Ricans with bags of 80-pound and 90-pound salt. This is back in 1980, okay?
Okay.
You know, 90 pounds. And there's pallets of 90 pounds. And every once in a while, the light turns red, and this thing, just body parts start falling. Heads, shoulders, eyeballs, you just see it. And then these guys, the other Puerto Ricans, break the bags of salt and put them on this shit that's falling. Like, it's nonstop, bam! And these guys sweep that into a fucking hole, and that's how the hot dog gets. But it's everything. It's the leg, the hoof, the arm. You know, what do you think, what happens to a leg? When somebody gets into a car accident on the 405, what do you think happens to the leg? You think they take it home? Fuck no. They call Hormel first. They go, Hormel, we got a black leg for you. It's about 300 pounds.
Oh, Jesus
I will call you back in 5 minutes. Then they call White Castle. Listen, we got a deal for you. Then they hang up with him.
Could you imagine?
And they call Steakums, and they send that leg over.
Steakums.
What do you think they're going to do with that big fucking leg that weighs
Steakums.
300 pounds? You think they just put that leg away? Fuck no. That's what you eat.
Could you imagine if they found out that people were grinding up people they found in the morgue and
Oh,
making
my
hot
God.
dogs out of them?
Oh my god.
Boy, fucking,
Imagine if that was true.
fucking Roy DeMeo was
Oh,
killing
my
people.
God.
And he had a friend that had a supermarket that owed him money. So at night, he'd go kill him in the supermarket and put him in the meat grinder. And the next day, people would come in and put their meat. What the fuck were you eating? What do you think was left
Really?
over in there? Fuck yeah.
He ground
What do you think
people.
was
Huh?
left over in there? Yeah, for a couple of his murders. He had a guy that owed him money for Shylocking.
He
So
was
he's
like, wasn't he draining people? too?
draining
He would
people,
drain
hanging them
people.
upside down
Yeah.
and draining people. The other guy from the Gambinos owned a chain of supermarkets. Did you know that? That was the guy from the Gambinos. The other guy from the Gambinos owned Great White Auto. Remember when you're in Queens and shit? They have those people that balance your tires and shit.
Oh, yeah?
He owned all of them.
Well, they bought into legit businesses. That was a good way to declare income.
The other guy had the guy that the heavy guy, Conti or something. That guy was a known heroin dealer. He was on the board of director of Noose Bombs of a supermarket. You want me to tell you what this motherfucker did? They had about 30 supermarkets in the Jersey area. And one day he just called local 202 carpenters and said, "Do me a favor, go to every supermarket and add an aisle." So every supermarket had an aisle that whatever they took went directly to the mob.
Whoa.
So they had 13 supermarkets with like aisle number 5 wasn't really aisle number 5. Nobody knew about aisle number 5. So whatever was bought in that aisle, that cash went upstairs for 13 supermarkets on a daily basis. They would just go into a supermarket and add 2 lanes and go, don't worry about those 2 lanes.
Wow.
How fucking bizarre is that shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Just, it's crazy that the FBI and all the people, the various law enforcement organizations figured out a way to crack that and break it down.
They cracked it after they made $10 million. Then they cracked it. You know who lives in Studio City, bro?
Who?
I just met him at this coffee shop about 3 months ago, and I talk to him all the time. And I'm about to sick him loose on people. Sick him loose on people.
Who?
The last godfather in this country was a guy by the name of Joe something, big fat guy. He came out and he made everybody shut the... He was fucking genius, Joe. Came out of jail, made everybody shut the social clubs. Everybody had to have a job. Everybody had to have a job. No drugs. Everybody stuck to it. They were doing phenomenal. He was doing phenomenal, Joe Messina. But somebody was shaking down a restaurant, and he went in there, and they were giving him $20,000 a week for security. So they couldn't figure out how to get Messina because he wasn't doing anything outside. And they got this forensic accountant to go in there, and they shut down the mob, this guy. Well, this guy retired, lives in fucking Studio City. We were talking to one day, he goes, for $1,000, somebody gives you a hard time. You have the right to go in there and look at their books. He goes, don't bring none of these fucking white idiots from Hollywood. Bring me. Because I'll find everything in there, plus I'll make them a deal if they don't pay you. I call my friends at the fucking IRS, and I'll have them here within a day looking through your asshole. So we're ready to sick motherfuckers. I got one guy, I'm ready to sick him on. He keeps telling me, oh, we haven't made any money. Keep it up. Keep it up, because I'm going to sick this little fucking... And this guy's one of those, he's not even Jewish. He's just crazy and white. But for $1,000, he'll go in there. And he was the same guy that brought down thousands of people for the FBI. When they can't figure you out, forensic fucking accounting, you're done. The math better add up, Jack.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
So anybody who gives you guys a hard time, we don't know. We haven't sold a lot of them. $1,000. And he'll go in there and he's fucking, when you look at him, he's one of those white dudes that did 30 years in the Marines that he's pretty serious. He goes, I'll rip them fucking open for you.
Ooh.
I'll find every dime, and then I'll make them an offer they can't refuse. They got 3 days to give you a check for the whatever, or we contact our buddies in the IRS, and I'll have them here in 24 hours to look in your asshole until they find something.
Oof.
Is that true? Can you really do that?
You can do whatever the fuck you
call
want.
the IRS and go, hey, man.
Ask all, wait till you see the end of the year. Wait till all these people who've been talking shit about Trump. You think Kathy Griffin's, they're not going to get in her ass and anybody else? You watch. I don't trust Trump when it comes to something like that. I'm not saying he's a bad dude or anything like that. What I'm saying is Trump's one of those dudes you really don't want to mess with. I believe that if people want to put pressure on you, they could get you to the IRS. I think agencies have been doing it for years. I shouldn't even have said Trump.
What did you guys think of this Charlottesville stuff and his reation to it?
I think he's just a big failure, man. I mean, he just,
what did you feel like
well,
when it was all...
he fumbled on what I thought was like 2 levels. Like, so there's the leadership, like presidential level, right? Where you go like, this is the office that we look to. And then there's like the person. So I think it's weird how he makes, everything is about him. And he even started one of those press conferences, and it went into like how the economy's doing. So like, I think it's hard to view that dude morally as somebody that that you would enjoy being around as a person. And then I get what he was trying to do.
I do too.
With his criticizing Antifa and stuff. Like I get it, but like it's the lack of savviness is even maybe more like in not knowing like this is a time where you do this and not that. That's also something you're like, wow, like he just feels like he's totally unfit for the job, in my opinion.
Well, I also feel like when you're the president, the workload must be impossible to imagine before you get in there. And then once you get in there, you're dealing with all these pressures, all these super important decisions in all these different areas, and then some new shit comes up.
I really think, and I'm not even saying this as like critical of like I don't like him. I really think he is, and only a few other people can experience this, is truly like holy shit with what this job entails. You know what I mean?
think so too.
I think it's really like one of those things where he's like, Wow, and you can see that he's constantly, like, he always refers to the campaign still. Always, will, in any conversation, he'll talk about, like, I beat those guys. And like, because I think that's the part that he enjoyed. He enjoyed the competition
Good old days
of the campaign. And I think, like, and then, you know, he's always bringing up, like, oh, the new, like, but the Dow was setting records for months and months and months. But, like, he'll still, you know, tweets will be about that or interviews will be about that. He can't not make a conversation, a statement without talking about it.
There probably is a connection, though, between the Dow being up and him being in office and people thinking that he's friendly to business.
I think the business markets love it. There's definitely no doubt about that. But there's also no doubt that unemployment was at record lows and setting records before him. Yeah. And the Dow has been on an upswing for years now.
Isn't that how it always is? Like, presidents always come in and take advantage of the upward. Like, there's like,
of course.
I mean,
he's not the first
entirely
guy
predictable,
to
right?
That, right?
But the economy does come in these ebbs and flows.
It does come in ebbs and flows. And the market, inevitably, at least in the history of it, always comes back. Always comes back. You know, even if you stayed through like Black Monday, the market still eventually comes back.
I'm too stupid to understand that. I'm too stupid to get the market. You know,
no, you're not.
No. I mean, I am in the sense that I'm not really interested in pursuing those lines of thought.
I get that. That's different.
My brain is just like, this seems like a pot of shit to me. I got to get out of here.
If I tell you something, guys, you're not going to believe this. I don't know anything that happened.
The stock market's strange.
No. I know some white supremacists that somebody showed up.
Oh, Charlottesville.
Right.
I don't pay attention no more.
Yeah.
I had to disconnect myself. I don't watch world news. If you call
let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened.
These guys were doing a J. Crew photo shoot.
Yeah, I know.
And they finished.
Yeah.
What happens is that spray that makes everybody gay that they put on frogs, they're now using at J. Crew, like Abercrombie and Fitch does.
Yeah.
As you walk in and they hit you with that gay frog spray. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It makes you gay.
So a bunch of dudes got crazy, tattooed swastikas on themselves, took their shirts off. They're all walking around with citronella candles that they got from like a hardware store.
Hilarious.
That was the stupidest part of it all. They had like torches that they were walking on the street with. Like, come on, you guys are walking around with lawn torches.
They're pussies. They didn't even make the Frankenstein ones, where you get the fucking blanket, dip it in fucking gas, and run and chase Frankenstein.
Even that would have
They
been
use those
different.
fucking mosquito repellents and shit. Listen, dog, I tell you what, this is. You know what, man? I have so many things on my plate. I had to stop. And
Watching,
and I'm gonna tell you something else. I had to sit my wife down like a man and tell her that CSNBC was not allowed in the house no more. My wife is very political, and I had to cut her off. Like, I can't have it. No
It
more.
does
drama.
it gets overwhelming.
I can't have
the
the
news
talk at the
can be-
table. You know, we would go out to dinner, and somebody would bring something up, and I had to kick her under the table, and I feel bad. Listen, I don't want to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
There's no reason to talk about that
you know
shit
how you
no
hear
more.
that expression more than you
don't
know
wanna
it
talk
as
about
a kid, where people are like, never bring up politics or religion. Right? And as a
Right.
kid, you're like, I don't understand why that. But this is, I feel like, the age where it becomes the most clear. And at the time where you're like, we can actually probably have a good time if no one talks about these.
And it always
subjects.
comes out, guys, you can't see four people talk for 5 minutes about anything without somebody bringing something up political.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the week, dog, you still got to get up and go to work. You still got to get up with groceries. You still got to wipe your ass.
Yeah.
All this knowledge and GOPs and SODs. I grew up in Hudson County, New Jersey, which comes into to Cook County, Illinois.
Yeah.
So I learned about politics in a micro. What's the smaller one?
Microcosm?
Situation.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible thing. I benefited from it. I had no-show jobs. I had to rip down signs.
You had no-show jobs?
Yeah, I had a no-show job at Horace Mann School when I was a kid. I would go in there once a week and pick up a check and laugh at the old janitors. I never moved a desk. Nothing.
Wow.
My Carmine got me the job, got rest his soul. But it's, I saw it at a level and it never interested me. Like, I was like, these people are fucking pukes. They're fucking pukes with suits on.
Yeah.
You know, before you guys were talking about taxpayer money. I want to see the addendum for the 12 fucking idiots that sit there with suits that are old and white, and they sit there and, 12 hours to make a decision. That's where our money goes.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know about bureaucracy till my mother died. That's when I learned about bureaucracy at 15. That's why I don't like it. Because my mother died, I couldn't even collect Social Security without coming up with 92 sheets of paper.
Yeah.
That's a fucking Social Security fucking number. That's a fucking name. And that's when she died. And that's a death certificate. Give me my fucking money. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's another letter and another meeting, and you paid your taxes. You paid for this. This is your fucking hard-earned money. That's when you learn that it's all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Our tax, if in 4 years your kid's gonna come to you and go, Daddy, or your daughter's gonna come to you and go, I want to play basketball. You take them down there. They charge you $85 to sign up, $32 for the shirt, which really is worth fucking $8 on in the black market, and then you gotta pay the sneakers, which are $100. When I was a kid, dog, taxes were low. I went to Union City. I told them I want to play basketball. They put you on a team. They give you a shirt, and you played every week for free. It didn't cost you anything. Look at the fucking. I don't even know about taxes or anything, Joe. All I know about is when I go buy a plane ticket, and I look at those prices, and I go, what about the family of two that isn't doing that well?
Yeah.
What about the fucking, if I was really tax, or I have felonies, I can't vote, so I don't even let that thing go in my mind. What about the $50 I got to pay for parking when I go to a UFC event?
Yeah.
What about the fucking $184 for a fucking Laker ticket, or the $100 for a fucking baseball ticket? When does it end? That's what I'm concerned about. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I want them to bomb fucking ISIS now, today. But everything else for me applies to the American family.
Yeah.
That the American family does not stand a chance in this country no more. If your wife works and you have to pay daycare, what are you bringing home? What are you clearing after daycare?
Right.
Somebody was telling me for summer camp in Studio City, it's $200 a week. That's $800 a month for the average person. What's the average person making in this fucking country, Joe Rogan? So your taxes are getting used for shit. Our taxes are getting used for shit. Shit. Because they're not going to where they're supposed to go.
$800 a month is like, what is that, like 9,000?
That's $9,600 a year.
That's a lot of money.
But for fucking, and the girl was telling me that her son has to volunteer and help other kids to get that rate. Studio City, and I just was telling them, kindergarten at Monarch is $34,000
What?
in the Valley, and don't even mind the other two where Denzel's daughter went to school.
Oh my God.
Oh, and by the way, we're talking about all this like it's a big deal. If we were living in Manhattan, that would be a goddamn bargain.
That'd be a
Yeah,
bargain.
that's true.
A bargain.
A bargain. That's what when I think about politics, I think about people who are fucking struggling, that have two children and they can't go to a Dodger game. How many fucking baseball games did you go to as a kid?
Right.
I can't tell you how many I went to as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these families cannot afford a Dodger game. Bro, I'm a fucking savage. My uncle loves baseball. He's an old man. I would go to Costco, and for $50, I get 2 tickets, 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and a parking spot. I don't care about the fucking game. I take him. He's 74. Once Magic took over the Dodgers, they don't give you that deal no more.
You know what it seems like? It's like if you have a giant population like we do in L.A., and something like a Dodger ticket or something, even though it's a giant number of people, it's still a small percentage of this huge population. I guess they just realize, anybody who does this realizes, you just jack it up higher, you're going to get a smaller percentage of people, but there's still enough people.
Right, exactly.
So like, why wouldn't we do that?
Right.
Let's just do that.
Let's just make more.
And then if you know how it is when you go to a theater or something like that, it's got to be twice that if there's some sort of a baseball game or something like that, or one of those huge stadiums. Think about all the people that have to get paid, all the people that are working there while you're working there, like just a giant staff of humans that have to keep that thing running smooth.
Yeah, but what about the American family that flies and wants to get a thing of water? It's $4.50 for a bottle of water.
Is that how much they charge you? I thought the water was free. They give you a cup of water for free,
they give you
right?
a cup of water. What if, and then when you go through TSA, you can't bring the water through.
You can't, but
So-
if you can buy water
On the other side.
On the other
But
side.
what if, Joe Rogan, you're just barely getting by, and you have 3 fucking kids, and it's $3 a fucking water? Yeah, I mean, that's the shit that has always concerned me.
Fucking break.
The small guy, the fucking guy that wants to take, the guy that works, he's divorced, he pays child support, he wants to take his kid to a Dodger game. And for him to get a ticket, he's got to sit with gangbangers and wear a helmet and a fucking bodyguard fucking suit.
Yeah.
And you can smoke pot now at Dodger Stadium.
Really?
There's a little section, supposedly, that you walk to the left and people are sparking over there. Is that true, Jamie?
I don't know.
Let's just pretend it is. Make it happen.
Just do it, man.
If anybody would let it go, it's L.A. Right?
Yeah.
Who's got more tolerance for weed than L.A.?
Yeah, LA's.
Did you see that video? I don't know where the fuck it happened. I think it was on the Instagram feed, Clownin' the Homie. I don't know if you know that one. They always have some fun stuff up there. But there's a big, giant white guy. This black cop beats the fuck out of him, tasers him, beats the fuck out of him with a club, and then eventually they tasered him from behind. Another guy got him, and he fell and banged his head off the ground. And the whole time the guy was saying, like, I am not fighting you. I'm not fighting you. And they just beating on him with this fucking pole. That job, and I've said it a million times, is not for everybody, and it's one of the most difficult fucking jobs in the world.
Being a cop?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing, when we're seeing, like, that guy that shot that woman in the alley, this guy getting beat up by this metal pipe.
The Baltimore cops planting fucking evidence.
Planting drugs.
How long you know me, Joe Rogan? 20 years I did time. None of you have ever. You've heard me say some crazy shit, Tom.
Crazy shit.
But you've never heard me say the word pig.
Yeah.
No, never.
I have the utmost respect for police officers.
It's a small
They
percentage
have
of people.
a stressful job, but something's going on now.
It's not just stressful.
What
It's
about
off
2 days ago,
charts
the 9
stressful.
minutes with the gun to the black couple while he was getting his license, and they kept saying, please put the gun away. And the guy held the gun there and shit like that. This is
that's
happening
so
constantly.
scary.
And then I love when if they shoot a black person, they just get like the black DA to go up there and say, well, we looked. This year they beat up that black retarded kid downtown. 8 cops to beat up a black retard. And then the fucking kid died, and they said it's the fucking black kid's fault. He's fucking retarded. 8 cops on top of him beating him.
Yeah.
But this goes on constantly. And you know what's going to happen, and you fucking know what's going to happen. You know exactly what's going to fucking happen. 2 or 3 years from now, all it takes is 3 angry black guys. 3 angry black guys with a surplus to spread the word. It was done with the Black Panthers. It was done for years. 3 angry black guys. And they're going to fucking start going around in cities and saying there's a fire. And when all these cops show up, they're going to be on roofs and they're going to open up on them. This is going to happen in American cities.
Well, didn't some of that happen after
happened in
Ferguson?
Dallas.
Yeah,
it
Dallas.
already happened
Right.
in Dallas
That
this
was-
year. So don't fucking tell me. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
3 black guys that went to the service, that got weapons. Like I told you. Unless you're retarded, you can't get weapons today. I get you whatever the fuck you want and something. I get you something in an hour. An hour, I'll get you something to go fight.
I believe you.
So never mind assault rifles and shit like that.
Right.
That's all you need is 5 assault rifles and say that a woman is getting raped at the end of fucking Cherokee Street and wait for 20 cops to come and open up on them, dog.
Jesus, man.
All headshots and leg shots. That's going to happen eventually because this cannot continue. This cannot continue.
I think most people that become cops have a very difficult time doing it. And I think for some people, it's unmanageable. And I think if you think about all the interactions that all the police officers have with all the people all day long, all across the country, the vast majority of it is inconsequential. It's people, traffic violations, little things here and there.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a percentage. What is that percentage? Is it even 1%? I don't know what it is. But if that 1% gets online, we focus on that 1%. So whether it's that guy planting drugs in Baltimore or these guys beating up this giant white guy. The guy was giant, but he wasn't threatening them in any way. He just didn't want these guys like fucking tasering them.
Yeah.
And I think there's just way too few people that are capable of navigating the waters of that kind of job. I think that kind of job is almost as bad or as difficult rather as being in the military. Your life is on the line. You're at risk all the time, constantly. You know, and people will call you a cop apologist if you looked at it like that. But listen, man, if the shit goes down, someone's breaking into your house, you're calling the cops, man. Okay? That's what they're here for. And to pretend that you don't need them is, you're crazy. Well, okay, maybe someday we won't, but right now, you need cops, for sure. And they
No, you
need cops.
definitely
They
do,
need
man.
each other. They
Yeah.
need cops too, and they know it. and they see it more than you do, because they're the ones who respond to murders and armed robberies and rapes. They're the ones who have to show up and handle car accidents on the highway. How much special training did they have that they get to deal with bodies that are torn apart?
Fuck.
How much special training?
No, I know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could even adequately train a person. Some people can handle it, period.
Yeah.
But there's some people, they see some dark shit and they just don't recover. And then you ask those people to just
You're
keep
right on
pulling
that.
people over.
But I also think that they should train the cops a little more. I see a lot of
I don't
dumb
think they
shit
have the
in LA.
money. I
see a lot
agree
of
with you,
dumb
though.
shit in
I agree
LA.
with you.
I see a lot of dumb shit in L.A., bro. Times you're on Hollywood Boulevard, bumper to bumper, and you go to see what it is, and it's a fucking cop double park giving a homeless guy a hard time.
Yeah.
Pull the cop in you. Pull the car in you, fucking scumbag. Can't you tell it's 4 o'clock when there's fucking traffic?
They don't care.
They don't give a fuck. One day I yelled from the car, and they looked at me. I yelled.
Yeah.
Really, guys? 8 in the morning? Double fucking parked. Really? No fucking genius here.
And there's smoke coming out of his mouth while he's screaming.
Oh, you think I'm fucking kidding you? I say shit because it's true. Come on, it's common sense.
Yeah, of course.
You want to give me a ticket? When we go to court, we'll talk about it. And now we all got phones. Now we all got fucking phones and videos and the whole fucking
That's
deal.
what's very dangerous is these laws against people filming cops while they're doing shit. Like, you can't have that. No,
Is that really a law, though?
Yes, it is. There are several places where it is illegal to film cops while they're doing things.
Wow.
Find it.
I
Let's.
don't think it is.
Federally, it's not.
I mean, I know for sure the police have tried to tell people it's not, but I'm pretty sure
Am I spreading fake news?
it's like you're
I know
allowed
that
to.
they
Well,
can.
let's find out if that's
Yeah,
the
I'm
case.
looking.
Are there places where it's illegal to film the cops?
I know they can tell you, like, if there's a situation going down,
I felt like I was lying when I said that.
that they can tell you that they need a certain, like, a bit of space, but I don't think they can tell you to stop filming.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
I know they've tried.
I was
They've
on a
certainly
plane a couple
tried.
of weeks ago to Vegas, and there was an altercation, and there were these fucking smart kids, and the cops kept telling them they had to get off, and they would shooting the cops and telling them that it was their right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
They-
Taking photographs and videos of things that are plainly visible in public spaces is a constitutional right, and that includes police and other government officials
Yes.
carrying out their duties. However, there is a widespread and continuing pattern of law enforcement officers ordering people to stop taking photographs or video in public places and harassing, detaining, and arresting those who fail to comply. The right of citizens to record the police is a critical check and balance. It creates an independent record of what took place in a particular incident. Okay, well that seems like maybe what I was reading was about people that got arrested for it. So the
Yeah.
cops were arresting them for it, but even though it's not really illegal.
Yeah, I mean, they can still arrest you for a lot of things. Then you go to court and you figure out the arrest and all that kind of stuff.
So if a cop arrests you for not listening to him, so like if a cop is arresting someone and you're filming it because he's kicking this guy's ass, and you start filming it, and the cop says, if you do not put that camera down, I will arrest you.
They can
They can still
say,
arrest
yeah,
you.
they could say you're obstructing justice or whatever
Right,
it is. And
right.
Then you
The
can
only
figure it
reason
out
they
later.
would say not to turn the camera off if he was doing something wrong.
Well,
So I got you there, right
it's
there.
like fucking hard to stay on the right path and not go straight Dirty Harry if some guy's trying to kill you and you're you're involved in some situation and then you see people filming it too. Fuck, man. I wouldn't want to navigate any of the shit that cops have to
I
go
wouldn't
through
want
on a
that
daily
job at
basis.
all.
Me neither.
No way.
Me neither. But they also have to. They gotta clean it up a little bit. And when they do something wrong, and we watch it on film, they can't tell us that the cop was justified to do something.
Of course, some
I
of
mean,
it's
there was
terrible,
a lot of
man.
shit going. There was 37 murders in Chicago last weekend, wasn't there?
Fuck.
Something
maybe
crazy
39,
like that.
39 shootings,
Yeah.
39 murders.
Something
Yeah.
crazy like
I
that.
mean, and those places are high level, but there's a lot of times I've seen cops act a little too much for what the situation calls for. I grew up in Jersey, where cops come in, they talk to you, they ask you, they separate you, and they determine if this was even worth the fucking angle.
Right.
These guys today, they'll come in, even if we do something at the store, they'll come in the store and investigate him for what? What did you do? Go fucking chase somebody. Go chase a fucking bank robber. The day after 9/11, I pulled into fucking 7-Eleven, and a guy had pulled over the line, okay? His car pulled over the line, so my car was over the line, the guy next to me, and the whole cars. I pulled in, I was 6 inches over a handicap thing on the blue line.
Yeah.
Cop made a U-turn and came and gave me a $458 ticket.
Fuck.
I understood I was wrong, but we just blew up the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing better to do. You ain't got nothing better to do. I see fucking kinky shit all the fucking time. I'm not involved in it, so it's got nothing to do with me.
Part of the problem
Listen.
with cops is there's a statistic number that they have to reach, right? Like if they believe there's a certain amount of traffic violations taking place in L.A., there's a strong influence on those guys to write a certain amount of tickets. Whether you call it a quota anymore, because I think those things are shunned.
They
but
say they don't have a quota, but they have something.
there's some
something.
severe.
Burbank, they're out there.
Yeah. There's some severe incentive. And if you don't meet the numbers that they expect and they in some way, shape, or form think you're not addressing some of the crimes that are being committed out there, I'm sure you get a hard time for it.
Listen, brother, when I got arrested in 87, that detective, that fucking moron from Boulder, who I liked, he got me for 4 years, and he thought he was fucking, like when they locked up Gotti, the Teflon Don. What are you talking about? You could have got me for 22 years if you'd have done your homework. If that cop would have done it just a little bit, I would have done 22 years. You don't know how many times I sat next to him in the preliminary hearing, and I'm like, I hope this dude don't recognize me. I hope he don't recognize, because he had come to talk to me about something else. The same fucking cop a year earlier. Wow. And he never put it together. And that would have got me more in the kidnapping.
Whoa.
So every time I saw this cop, I would sit there. At the end, I would just call him like a big dope. Because he was 6'4" with the big chest, with the bulletproof. You're a dummy. You walk around like you fucking know what you're talking about. You're a dummy. It's like that fucking kid a couple weeks ago that pushed that fucking little Mexican hot dog cart. You'll never hear from him again.
Who?
That little Argentinian dude that pushed that little Mexican dude with the fruit cart.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
I
about?
didn't see that.
Jesus Christ, Joe Rogan. You watch lions attacking a monkey, but you haven't seen in L.A. a couple weeks ago where some poor little Mexican dude was selling hot dogs on the corner, and some fucking little, he thought he was one of those dudes with the skinny jeans with a Guns N' Roses shirt. Him and his fat, white, ugly fucking girlfriend went up to the dude and told him to move. You never saw this? They told him to move.
Argentinian man harasses LA street food vendor flipping over his car.
Oh my God, Joe Rogan.
Huh.
Look at this fucking jerk off. Look at with a dog. You can tell he's a fucking pussy.
What happened?
Watch. He told him to move. Little spec kid turns on his camera.
Why does he want to move it? Why?
Because he's fucking. Look, he's a skinny jean guy with that dirty, filthy white animal of a girlfriend. Look at him. So he wants to be a tough guy with his Fidel beard. Watch what happens, though.
Whoa.
But look what the Mexican did to him. He fucking threw that red pepper right in his fucking face.
Stay the fuck away.
Look, this is what that's what white people do. We're calling the police.
Damn,
that dude had to pick up and move. Let me tell you what you see those carts with the umbrellas? Haven't you noticed a lot more of those carts that have the rainbow umbrella, Tom Segura?
I've seen a few.
You know why?
No.
They're the cartel.
Really?
Remember years ago when you first moved to LA, there was star maps?
What's going on here at the rest of it, Jamie? The guy takes off his shirt. Did they get in a fight after this?
No, he fucking threw the pepper out his face. The fucking hot pepper. Tremendous.
The guy just took his shirt off.
Yeah. See, because he threw pepper in his face, little fucking
But he's still hanging out, like right there. It's weird.
Because they thought the cops were going to come. People came to help this little Mexican dude. But that dude had to leave town with his fat, fucking, disgusting, filthy girlfriend with the tight jeans. Because, you know who runs those things? The cartel. That's why you see so many more.
What was his? He just didn't like it there.
He just didn't want him there because it's like Silver Lake and he's special. You know,
this is in
he
Silver
thinks
Lake?
he's a white dude and with his skinny fucking jeans, his little faggy fucking Fidel beard.
You know what I've noticed, man? There's a lot of people that think that it's okay to be aggressive because they're in the right.
But did you see him?
They're in the right. Yeah,
he shut up with his dog. Anytime they come with their dog, ain't nothing gonna go down. That's a pussy. That dude was a pussy. That poor kid. Let me tell you something. The cartel brings the coke up in fruit. They chop up the fruit, then they sell the fruit. They don't make a loss. They have these new umbrellas everywhere, and they have them even across the street from each other. They don't sell drugs. That's where they make the cash drop-offs. I've had people see them all the way from San Diego, all the way to fucking Reseda. They're all on the main strips, and they're all confused. That's why they're around.
Jesus.
So the DA don't catch them. They don't drop off drugs. They just drop off an envelope with a number on it. Number A52. That's Joe Rogan's number. And then some guy comes that day and picks up all the envelopes and goes right to Instant Eat, and that's the end of the day. When we first got here, it was star maps.
Oh, yeah.
And what was they turned out to be a Spanish prostitution ring.
Was it really?
Fuck yeah. They were fucking those little Mexican kids up the ass. They jumped the wall to stretch the muffler out.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
some white dude could fuck him in the ass on Hollywood Boulevard.
I gotta pee. I'm trying to hold this in.
Go ahead,
I don't know,
take
I
your
drank
time,
too
but hurry
much. I'll
up.
be right back.
All right.
You didn't know that, dog?
No. Fuck no, I didn't know that. That Star Maps?
They even made a movie about it
What?
called Star Maps.
They really went out there with the title. Wait, they made a movie about it?
Yeah.
And this was what you could,
Look, I'm not, bro.
Look at the tagline down there. If you can read it, Tom.
yeah. Carlos wants to be an actor, but his father, Pepe, wants him to work in the family business, that is, male prostitution. Carlos decides that he will be one of his father's boys until he can. What in the fuck,
It's
man?
called Star Maps,
I had no idea.
1997.
That's so nuts. No idea. And that's for people that don't know. That's the people that they sold maps to celebrity homes, right? That was the
They
whole
would be
idea.
out on Sunset. When I first got here in '98, there was 1,000 of those mooks on Sunset. Fucking, you know.
Yeah, in Hollywood,
Sounds-
right?
Yeah.
And
They're still out there.
they still are, but
Yeah, we
just
just
less
proved
hoeing is involved with
Yeah.
that.
Well, no, I don't see the star. I see the star vans. I don't see the star maps. I don't see the fucking.
I feel so much better. I was holding that one in.
Crazy, man.
It's fucking craziness, and it goes fast. It's fucking
Amazing.
craziness. What are you gonna do with our lives? You know what I'm saying?
What are you gonna do with our lives? That's the thing. Where does it all go, man?
1,000 podcasts.
It's
It's changed fucking society. You fucking
It's changed
started
us.
It. Changed us.
It's changed us for sure. It's you tap into all the people. Think all the people you've had on the conversations you've had with those people. You know, how much of that would you ever have if it wasn't for doing your podcast? You know, it changes you. It changes the way you think of things. It changes me for sure. It changed a lot of the way I think of things because I getting a chance to sit down with people for hours and hours uninterrupted. No phone calls, no messages, no text messages. And to be able to do that on a regular basis, you get to know people in a way different way. You don't really get a chance to do that with each other that often. You know? To sit down and just have no distractions. Just you and a friend having a conversation, laughing, talking shit about things.
Well, the cool thing is that's the experience people are getting listening to it. Too.
Yeah.
That's why, you know.
How many times have we been on the road and we went to a diner afterwards and we were laughing literally until we were in tears, like falling down. Like we were doing podcasts. It was just nobody listening.
Totally
like,
true.
Crying and laughing. You know, like the three of us in some fucking strange Nashville diner somewhere.
It totally is what happened today. It's the same thing, man.
Exactly.
Same amount of booze.
Exactly.
No, it's so cool to replicate.
Anything left in that joint over there?
Yeah, there's
There we
definitely.
go.
We got more. Reefer up in this bitch.
Reefer madness.
I brought another joint. We'll have another one. Shout out to LA Speedweed.
My man
Keeping
Gino,
it-
Gino's
always
the
fucking
man.
keeping us
it
fucking
strong.
whole.
Keeping it strong out here. Here we go. You know what they got to do, though? They got to be careful with these fucking things. They give you these. Look at this. It's made out of actual glass. The thing that the weed comes in, it breaks in your pocket.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, that's not good. This one is superior.
It's like when you go to a
Plastic.
bathroom at a hotel
Like a fine
and they give you glasses in there. There's 2 glasses by the sink. Like, what the fuck?
Those pretentious weed guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it's clearly an indica. Probably a South American strain.
Oh my
It's like,
god! I microdosed
Well,
the other night.
It might be BC. It might be BC. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's like maybe Seattle. Maybe Seattle.
You
Maybe
just know it's
DC.
Northwest, man. It's Northwest. for
Northwest.
sure.
It's like basically the good stuff. Joey motherfucking Diaz. Wait, a drum one.
Wow. God damn.
That was a podcast.
I forgot there's a show tonight.
Yeah. We're going to forget a lot of shit along the way, too.
Yeah. I feel like it's 7 p.m. right now.
We talked about some shit earlier that was the funniest shit I ever said in my life. But if anybody asked me, like, how's the podcast today? I would go, oh, dude, Joey Diaz went on a rant. It was the funniest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. And then he'd go, what is it about? I go, couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah. No. I also couldn't tell you what the last thing we talked about is. Whatever that
it's,
was.
whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It's not that important. It's not that important. But these things change us, man. And I know your podcast's changing you, Joey. You know, it's connecting you with those people that like to come out to see you in a way that nothing else has ever had before, you know?
No, the biggest thing about the podcast is it keeps me in check. It keeps us in check.
Yeah.
We got to stick to what we say.
Yeah.
We got to preach what we talk about. You know, it keeps us in check, man.
Yeah.
There's no more, we got somebody watching us now that, you know, so it's pretty fucking interesting to me.
It does keep you in check, but it also it's ultimately satisfying to you, you know, to just stay in check, you know, to like think about
That's
what you're
true.
doing, say things that are as accurate as you possibly know. Be honest about how you're thinking about these things, like where you're drawing your conclusions from.
Totally.
People don't have a chance to do that often. They don't have to be accountable for their own thoughts. You know, not to the level of like someone who is hosting a podcast does, or someone who's constantly being reviewed by people. You know, like
People do hold you accountable, too.
They do.
for sure.
They do. And that's what I like about it.
They should.
If I get to do a Periscope in the morning and I tell people I'm going to go to Jiu-Jitsu today, I get 20 tweets that night.
Yeah.
How was it? What did you learn? And if I go, I didn't go because, you fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Here's to you guys one more
Yeah.
time.
Cheers,
Hey,
brother.
wait a minute. Let me get a little more of that.
Listen, bro, let me tell you something. The doctor told my mother to stop drinking. She stopped drinking, and 11 days later, she was dead. That's why I believe you always got to have a shot of something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about fucking drinking a bottle a night.
I'm not a big believer in anecdotal evidence unless it benefits me. So in that case, I'll go with that one.
1, 2 salutes ain't going to kill nobody.
You were saying doctors say do this. So.
Sukalamik.
Sugalamik.
Yeah.
This is it, brother.
Yeah.
Salute,
Salute,
gentlemen.
you bad
Cheers, brother.
motherfuckers.
Cheers.
So much fun.
Cheers,
Jamie,
brother.
Here
what
to you,
name?
Jamie.
Cheers, Jamie.
You bad motherfucker, you.
Good, sir.
When you drink these things, like to us, it's nothing. I love the white dudes. I love crazy white people.
Do you?
Like, I don't like these
I love
nice.
all
What
your
about-
I
criticisms
don't like
of
nice white people. They drive me with.
But what about
when they-
Charlottesville kind of crazy white people? Like, where do you draw the line?
I like white people who bring a bottle of bourbon, but the most important thing is they bring a bag of ice. Because they don't want you fucking with their ice. Okay?
Yeah.
When a white dude shows up with a bag of ice, that's a man of class, style, and sophistication.
It's also
and
a
the best is
dude
when
with
they
a
go,
plan.
no. Don't put it in the freezer. Leave it right there. That means they drop one ice cube in there every 20 minutes and they got it timed. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is the fucking ice.
Yeah. Man, I totally agree, man. I
If you
love
go
the
over a
ice.
dude's house and he's got a walk-in humidor filled with cigars, do you go,
Yeah, I'm a little.
what the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing with your time? You got a walk-in humidor?
I feel like age matches up with cigars in a way that few things do. Like an old dude with a cigar is like, I want to hang out with him. I want to
Yeah.
have a drink. I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
But like a 22-year-old with a cigar, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you douchebag.
It's like a fedora and a cigar.
It's
You're
like an
22.
age. Like you can't.
You
There's
have a
a certain
leather vest,
age where you're like, fuck
white
you.
T-shirt with a leather vest.
You know who smoke cool smoke? You know who look cool smoking a cigar? Tony Soprano.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Remember when
man.
he go,
Oh,
when he
dude.
turn it over, you're like, I need a fucking cigar.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know why? I bet James Gandolfini really enjoyed smoking a cigar.
think you're
so
right.
he's like actually enjoying the cigar while he's acting like he's enjoying
I
the cigar.
never enjoyed
He was-
it, Joe Rogan.
He was a bad motherfucker.
That was a dude.
I
was a
never enjoyed a
solid
cigar.
He
actor.
was so good.
You want me to tell you something? That's the first guy I could say that. A couple of weeks ago, I went back to my hotel room. The fucking original Getaway was on with Steve McQueen, and I forgot, bro. I forgot. You forget, Joe Rogan. Look, I get tears in my eyes. He's in the dumpster with that bitch. After the thing tripped him over, and she's fucking telling him all. He's like, well, we should just break ways. And she's like, well, obviously you can't get over me having sex with somebody else, so you're a mental midget.
Bro.
And Steve McQueen, bro, he just grabbed her by the hand. And then he goes back to the hotel and he shoots all those fucking rednecks. Oh, we forget how bad Steve McQueen. Look at him. Look at this fucking man of a man that he was. There's my man, Salazzo from The Godfather. Watch Steve McQueen with a fucking suit on. This is 1973, dog. He's so smooth. This is not the scene you got to put on. The scene is when he beats up Ally McGraw, and she thought it was acting, and he just pretty much smacked the shit out of her. She didn't know. But he would smack the shit out of her every other day for some reason or another. He was like John
beat
Lennon.
her up.
Yeah, watch that scene, bro.
Why is that funny, Tom? That's so fucked up.
It's so funny to
Bro, if
hear
I was
the way
married
Joey
listen,
talks
I
about
don't believe in violence towards women. But if I was married to Yoko Ono, you got to kick her once a day, somewhere in the back, in the stomach. Shut the fuck up, you dirty bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Now look how beautiful this woman was. Number one, look at the natural beauty on this fucking woman, and look at this blonde savage of a man. Look at him.
He's fucking over
So Steve
it.
McQueen gets out of the car and he just starts walking in front of the car. Does he smack her after this?
Watch, he was a little faggy head, dude.
Beautiful hair.
Right? Look at him with his black suit on. He's furious.
If I had hair, I'd wear my hair like that.
Yes, I would. Me too. Like that. My hair's starting to fall. I got to put crazy glue. I figured out. That's how you don't want to lose your hair. Put crazy glue in the morning. It won't go nowhere.
Oh, she's getting out of the car. She looks upset.
It's
People
very
are young.
emotional. Yeah.
Look at this.
What year is this?
72. I was 9, and I went to see this the first weekend. My mother goes, "What'd you go see?" Steve McQueen. Are you fucking crazy?
Wow. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, dude, he's hitting her for real.
She didn't know she was going to get hit. She didn't know.
Oh, my God.
Fuck, man. Jesus, man.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw this? You got to see this shit. And if you really want to see a beating, you got to put on The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds. In the
Yes.
beginning, when he grabs her by the throat and hits her with the bottle of something. This is Burt Reynolds. Remember, we watched it here.
But this is fucked up because
This
like,
is crazy.
You know he's really hitting her.
Well,
Yeah,
he told her
man.
he was
That
going to
totally
smack her a few
changes it.
times.
He
But then
told
he
her he's gonna
wanted
do it?
her. It's like when Sean Penn did at close range with whatever.
Yeah.
And he kept shooting a gun. And finally, Sean Penn goes, "Give me the gun," because you're not reacting the right way. You're not being scared. So he shot a real gun at Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken talks about it all the time. Look at this fucking savage.
Go Knowles.
Get off of me.
Oh, my God.
That's how the movie opens and shit.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
It's amazing what 40 years has done.
Yeah, people used to beat people
And look
up.
at how beautiful she is. This
you
woman
would
is beautiful.
never see
Where the
anything
hell do
like
you think
this.
you're going?
I'm splitting, man.
Look at his body, though. This guy was not juicing. This guy was just fucking nuts.
You all-American son of a bitch. Look at that. This is like a soap opera from Mexico.
No.
Stay out.
No.
This is a fucking soap opera from Mexico, bro.
Totally is.
This is totally. Look at this. So
Remember in the 70s, everybody had booze in that, on TV, everybody. Look at that. Everybody's house had booze.
Vete a la mierda.
Me soy Burt Reynolds.
Cállate ya.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Wow. So hostile. Oh my God, she bit him. Oh, she threw some shit at him. This is a Mexican soap opera, son.
Here we
I
go, Joe
earned
Rogan.
it.
Here we go, Joe
Here she
Rogan.
comes.
Jesus, man.
Oh.
This is the
Oh my
70s,
God.
though.
A fake slap to the
Oh,
face.
my God.
That was a real throw to the
That was
ground.
a real throw.
That throw to the ground seems super real. That would hurt your hip. That's a hard floor. They didn't even give her a cushion, man. Like, look at what's going on there.
Yeah.
There was an actress. They
On a
didn't even give
tile
her a
floor.
cushion.
Yeah.
Would you let Burt Reynolds throw you to the ground?
No, fuck no.
No.
Not that year.
Dude, getting thrown
Maybe
to the ground
now.
hurts. That shit hurts. Like, she just ricocheted off the ground, 100%. That wasn't a stunt person.
Yeah. Do you jerk off to this stuff?
What's the matter with you?
Weird question.
Now, dog, he gets into his car.
Super weird.
He starts it up, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, you ready for this? Yes. He gets in his fucking whatever Lamborghini. He starts it up, and all of a sudden you hear
Saturday night.
fucking Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's right. He showed me this. That's all I remember.
And all of a sudden the cop
Play that part.
Oh
Play that
my
part,
God!
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as that, he gets in his car, starts the car, and that's what's on the rate. Look at what. Here we go.
Burt Reynolds. V8. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you knew you were at the right movie.
Like a black cat dude. Down, down. Look at that shit box. That's a Maserati?
It's like an Avanti or something.
Oh, that's hilarious. Whoa, the cops. She called the cops. Unlock the door. Whoa. That car is so fast. Oh my God. Meanwhile, that car handles like total dog shit.
What is it?
I don't know, but I mean, those cars back then, even the best ones handled like shit. That thing has skinny tires, a fucking caveman suspension. I mean, it probably did drive a lot better than those police cars, though. Police cars are like the worst cars you could drive. You're trying to catch somebody. They have 4 doors. You want a car that has 2 doors.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
Yeah,
Sports car, it's got a good balance and something to go around corners quick with. You don't, like, race cars aren't big, long 4 doors. That's a lot of extra weight.
This is nuts.
Yeah, having like a police car, like, but today they have police cars today. They're like, they can make like Mustangs. They turn them into police cars. You
Yeah,
ever
and
seen
Dodge
those?
Chargers.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Dude. There's some scary cars today when it comes to like a car pulling you over. Like if the cops have that new Dodge Demon. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
800 horsepower. 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
Really fucking crazy.
It's just so stupid. Like they can't.
I love that they make shit like that.
I love it too. It doesn't work if it's colder than 15 degrees out. Dubai has the world's fastest police car.
It's a Bugatti.
They have a Bugatti. Oh my God. Dubai balling. They're balling so strong.
So balling.
They're balling so strong. I mean, if you just respect balling, you got forget about cultural differences. You got to respect their balling.
Oh, Dubai does it up, man.
If you do it up even a little bit, I don't give a fuck. Stop making excuses. They ball harder than anybody.
Yeah.
They have an indoor ski place that you could have in the desert.
Did
you
you
go
guys,
skiing indoors.
Did you have a fight there? Was there a fight there?
No, but there was a fight in Abu Dhabi, and we did the weigh-ins in Dubai.
That's cool.
It was weird, man. There's so much money there. That was Anderson against Damian Maya.
Right.
Yeah, and Frankie Edgar versus BJ Penn too.
Like
I'm pretty
a few
sure
dudes
that was
that
there too.
really have crazy money. Crazy
Oh,
money.
I think it's off the charts. You know, I don't think we even understand oil money. You know, like what we make, we think we're doing good.
Yeah.
These guys, like, and it's like many generations of having that kind of cash. It's a different level of cash.
Different
you know?
level, yeah.
Family wealth.
Yeah.
It gets passed down. That's where the Gitas is.
Old
white money. They ain't no stronger gang than that, Jack.
They have interior surf places too. We can go surfing.
It's nuts, man.
You ride a surfboard indoors.
Is that where the government like will give citizens money that just want to do anything?
Really?
Yeah.
In Dubai?
I thought so. Maybe I have it wrong, but my cousin came here to study English, like from Peru. So he had a class with a bunch of people from different countries. And I thought he said this classmate from Dubai would be like, everybody want to go out on Saturday? Like, it's all good. And would pick people up in like, limo buses. And he's like, hey, who's paying for this? And he's like, oh, I got it. It ain't shit. Like, don't worry about it. And then was telling them, like, he was like, you're just going to pay for this? He's like, look, it's just given to me, man. I got to spend all this shit. I don't even know what to do.
Jesus Christ.
And just buying everybody drinks, food, going to Vegas, like 15 people he's just in class with.
Yeah, nobody balls harder than them.
Yeah, it's pretty out of control.
Everywhere you go, there's Ferraris, Bentleys, Lamborghinis.
There's like ridiculous. There's cars that I feel like it would be ridiculous to show up in.
Well, how about one of those
anywhere.
Bentleys that they have, or one of those Bugattis rather that they have as a police car?
For
That's
sure,
like,
it's insanity.
isn't that like $2.5 million?
Yeah, so much money. I think Floyd Mayweather has like 6.
Does he really?
He has so many.
He's hilarious.
His
I
spending
love him.
habits are hilarious. His
I
cars.
love him.
Then he's got like a whole fleet just in
hilarious.
white. He's like, white is right. I got a bunch of.
He's got other colors too, though, man.
Yeah,
He
he
got a
does.
gang of cars.
All
So
matching
when he
up.
owed that money to the IRS, why don't you just give him a few cars?
Because he went so deep, so
How much
crazy.
does he owe?
Well, it's more than you want to pay.
Yeah.
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to
It's
pay.
neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right.
You know what
I've
was
given
not
you
good?
$25 million.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, like what are you talking about, man?
He's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash. Hilarious. I love
Yeah,
it.
he has $15 million worth of cars.
Congratulations.
But he doesn't drive.
I like it. Good. You can sell those. They're worth a lot of money. You can get that money too.
Yeah.
You know, it's he's really interesting in the amount of money that he's able to generate.
Yeah.
You know, he's figured out some pretty incredible shit.
He's a great villain too, man.
Oh, he's brilliant at it.
I
And
mean,
he's just a brilliant defensive boxer.
Oh, skill-wise, off the charts.
Off the charts.
But I'm saying that guy should get more credit for what he does as a skilled businessman and psychological,
Yeah.
warrior. Like he
Yeah.
should get a lot more credit for it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's arguable that he's enjoying it and he enjoys playing the villain role and enjoys like flashing all the money.
And if he is really enjoying it,
Yeah.
like, don't you love that and respect
look
that
at
about
that
him?
fucking thing. What is that car? That thing looks amazing.
That's my new
This is
$4.8 million car.
What is it? A CCXR? Is that a Koenigsegg? Yeah. How do you say that? That's a word that I've never said.
It is. I can't say it. I love
Cone-
that he starts his post with the amount, like to remind people, like not my
Koenigsegg?
new car.
Yeah, my new $4.8 million car. How do you think you say that? Koenigsegg? Koenigsegg? Koenigsegg?
Koenigsegg?
Koenigsegg? Jesus Christ. Koenigsegg?
CCXR
Beautiful.
Trevita.
That's a ridiculous name.
Yeah, it's
Change your
beautiful.
name. But that car's dope.
You're
I
working
think it's
next Saturday,
insane.
correct, sir?
I think so,
So
yeah.
you're working during this fight.
Oh, yeah, I'm in D.C.
Well, both are working during this fight. You working?
I had it already.
No.
Me too.
I already
am.
booked way in
You
advance.
off next Saturday?
Now it's my dad's birthday. I'm going to a big birthday
Are
celebration.
you
you
going to
watching
try to avoid finding out what happened and then watching it?
No, it depends, man. We haven't. I don't know. I'm going to gauge also his interest in it.
I always try to get home before I find out anything or watch it before I find out anything, and I always fail to do so.
You always.
I cannot give any temptation. I want to find out what happened.
I know.
I want to find out.
It's hard.
I go
man.
online. Let me check real quick.
Yeah.
Am I worth like? What if they tell me it's a 5-round boring decision? Of a title fight. And this one's going to be 12 rounds boxing.
I know. It's gonna be. It's an exciting event. It's one of those like you'll remember like the excitement to tune in. So I think we were gonna want to watch it.
Conor McGregor is a magic person.
Yeah.
Like legitimately. Like to get this many people so hyped up about this fight.
Yeah.
It's not just about his performances, his fights. It's also about like wanting to believe that there's a dude who could pull it all off.
Yeah.
It's like a magic person.
Do you feel like in the lead up to the fight, like as we get closer, your opinion on it has changed at all?
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for a good hype job, dude. That's
Yeah.
why I'm a good hype man.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for believing all that stupid shit. I thought Jerry Cooney had a chance against Larry Holmes when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I saw Jerry Cooney knock out Ken Norton. I was like, he might have a chance.
Who was the guy that fought? Who was the other white dude that was the Great White Hope that I think fought Larry Holmes in '82, and he wouldn't make eye contact?
No, not Chuvalo.
June of '82.
In '82. Oh, Galata. Was it Galata? Is that what you're talking about?
Andrew
No.
Galata.
Yeah. No, Jerry Cooney's the guy that. Is that the guy you're thinking of? Is that the guy I was talking
Is that
about?
the guy that fought?
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
Jerry Cooney.
Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about.
Good-looking white dude.
Yeah, when I was in high school,
I was
thought
thinking
Jerry
about
Cooney was
the
going to
other
win.
dude.
Really?
Who's the white dude from Bayonne that fought
No
Muhammad
shit.
Ali? And
Oh, the Bayonne Bleeder.
Bro, yeah,
Yeah,
and he
Chuck
said he was-
Wepner.
yeah, I get it.
He's the guy that they based the movie Rocky on because they didn't expect him to survive, and he kept surviving. He kept moving forward. And Chuck Wepner was the guy, I think, that was one of the inspirations for the movie Rocky. Because that guy just kept plodding forward, and Muhammad Ali beat the shit out of him, but I don't think he stopped him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at that cracker's face, man.
Yeah, dude, he got dropped there. Look at that, man. Muhammad Ali in his prime was so magic, man. What he could do as far as like movement, his ability to like move in and out, slide around. A lot of people thought he was doomed when he was going to fight Sonny Liston. Like, there is no fucking way. This kid is in so much trouble. All he could do is like box around and move fast, but Sonny Liston is a murderous puncher.
Yeah.
And he beat the fuck out of Floyd Patterson. It's like the way he would beat those guys, he'd be like, oh Jesus, nobody can stand in front of him. Like very Rumble Johnson-esque, maybe even more so in his power.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was like, bitch, that is not taking place today. Spot.
It sucks. It sucks about not living through an era is you can never fully appreciate it as much as you want to.
Totally.
Like I already know, I've had enough lessons about Ali, but like you're like, oh man, I really wish I would have lived through it. Like I already see it now. I became conscious of it now because of basketball. Because people are always doing this Jordan or LeBron, argument, this hypothetical, and like you go back and forth. But like this is the first time I realized there's people arguing who weren't alive during that Jordan craziness, and I'm like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. You have no idea what that was. Like you can pull up any statistic you want. You have no idea.
You don't feel that.
Yeah,
what that was
and
like.
you didn't watch that dude become a fucking savage, like a goddamn, Spanish conquistador in fucking the NBA, where you could not believe what a killer he was. Like, You've never seen that level of competitiveness and how that dude could dominate. We've never seen. But there's people I realize who are like, oh no, I've seen highlights, and I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, you don't get how dominant he was.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Dominant,
if you saw Jordan dominant, it was the craziest thing ever, man.
The first time I saw Jordan fly from the foul line through the air, dude, and slam dunk a ball, I remember thinking, how does a person even do that with their body?
Yeah.
Like he literally flew through the air and slam dunked this ball. And I'm not exaggerating, where it was like basically where the foul line was. He fucking went flying. He took like an extra step.
Can you do me a favor, Joe Rogan? One favor?
Yeah.
Can you put on the top 10 dunks by Julius Erving?
Ooh.
Just 1 second.
Let's do that, and then we'll go to Jordan.
Well, that'll break it down, because
warm up.
before LeBron there was Jordan, but before Jordan there was a guy from Long Island named Julius Erving.
Sure.
And he used to kill one team. The best dunks of all time were done by him against the Lakers.
Here it goes.
This isn't
Woo.
This is a regular one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is nothing. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
This is against, look, watch this one. One-handed.
Oh, my
That's
God.
just superb. That's superb. Watch this. Boom, in, bam, over a guy
Flies with
7'4", and he's 6'6". Here's against, look at this. Bam, okay.
Woo. My favorite was Daryl Dawkins.
Oh,
because he would
backboards.
destroy the backboards.
Watch this one here,
like,
Joe
game
Rogan.
over, hooker.
Bro, I used to snort coke with Daryl
Damn,
Dawkins.
look at that.
He
No,
used to
you
snort
didn't.
coke from the top of the refrigerator. Put this back. Run this back, dog. He was gonna call my podcast, but he died 3 weeks later.
Oh,
3 weeks before.
3 weeks before. It was a dream. I went to a psychic.
No, he did. That's against Bill Walton. Look at this one. Wow. Against
Oh,
fucking.
my God.
That was watch this one. This is against this guy.
Oh,
But watch
that's
these
beautiful. That's beautiful.
The elevation, man.
The problem is that's what everybody wants to see. You don't want to see all the shit leading up to that.
Yeah.
It's like when I watched the
But
Hulk.
this was tremendous.
Like, hurry up and
against
get
the
mad.
Portland Trailblazers. Look at him against Bill Walton. Bam! And Bill Walton kept calling for a foul. Look at him. Bill Walton, all his shit. Look at him. Look at bitch. You're gonna be this, but I'm slamming right in your fucking face. See, Bill Walton was calling for a foul.
You know what? I feel like if you have a dishonorable claim at a foul, if you're doing
Look at
something
that.
like those soccer players do sometimes,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
oh,
I
yeah.
feel
Look
like
at this one.
you should lose points
Look
for
at
that.
this one, Joe Rogan. This is the one I bet. I won. I had the Sixers in Philly. Look at him. Against Michael Cooper and shit.
Can you imagine being there?
Oh my god!
I was there. They gave us
You were
fucking
there?
free hamburgers. I was down
Look
there.
at him fly.
Look at him. He was getting.
my
They were
God.
getting a point at Philadelphia. How could I not bet that game?
Okay, now go to 10 greatest Michael Jordan dunks
Oh my God.
and prepare yourself for a fucking Avatar movie.
Get on a toilet. Get
When I
on a
was
toilet
kid, my
right
friend
now.
was the ball boy for the Nets. And you find out a lot about basketball players. First of all, do you know basketball players throw away their sneakers after every game?
It's crazy. A lot of them do.
So he would take the sneakers and sell them on the before eBay. He would take the Nets sneakers and sell them.
Look at this crazy shit. Come
Yeah.
on, man. That looked like somebody pressed controls and then a body did that.
He has some spectacular airtime.
Oh, man.
Look at this. He just flies in there, man. I wonder what's like the record distance. You know, I know I said from the free throw line, but what's like the record distance that someone's ever dunked from?
I don't. You know
The
who's
top of the key.
Who's way crazier
18
of a
feet.
dunker though?
18 feet.
It's 18. It's 15 from the free throw, and it's 18 from the top of the key.
Someone
maybe
dunked from
20.
there?
Julius Erving.
Oh my god!
All the time in the things.
What?
That now, David Thompson.
He's shaking his head. Jamie's saying no
free throw
bueno.
line's about as far as anyone's done.
The free
Yeah.
throw line.
Maybe the free
That's
throw
what I was
line.
thinking.
That maybe 15
That's what I was
feet.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's still insane.
That's
crazy.
insane.
There's
Look
a
at this, look at
chance
this
someone
shit.
by now has done like a foot or two behind it. But
Now, have you ever
that's about
seen Vince Carter's dunks?
No.
Yeah.
Because that dude is 40.
Let's
In
hold
the
on.
NBA.
Let's enjoy these first.
Yeah, these
we'll,
are amazing.
We'll go to Vince Carter, but let's enjoy these for a moment because these are spectacular.
Well, this is. I mean,
Jordan was just
yeah, it's a
from
work
another
of art.
planet.
It's a beautiful thing.
There's a
It's
lot
from
of
another
times,
planet.
Tom Segura, I'm watching 30 for 30,
Yeah.
and I want to call Joe Rogan and call him because I know he's not that sport like the one about Detroit when they beat him up really bad.
Yes, yes.
And he decided to lift weights.
trying to get on that Mexican
Yeah.
supplement.
Yeah, he
son.
said this ain't ever going to happen again.
Look at
See how
this dunk,
jacked he was
man.
when he was like done.
But Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, he's way.
Look at
more
the way he
jacked
held
than
it
is
back.
here.
Yeah,
And
because
then
he went and got on.
brilliant.
He lifted against the Detroit
Fuck.
Pistons. But Joe Rogan, as a basketball enthusiast, and I'll call Don Herrera, there's only one, the greatest dunk of all time. And because he jumped over a motherfucker.
Who did that?
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
jumped
talking
over
about.
in the
Joey got
Olympics.
mad.
Clyde Drexler
Oh,
Oh
well,
yeah.
against Louisville, 1981. Put it on for
Oh
Joe
right,
Rogan.
right.
Clyde
And
Drexler
Louisville
against Louisville,
was considered the
1981.
Wizards of dunk. And Houston was called Phi Slamma Jamma because that's all they did was dunk.
There's a few athletes that I feel like, even from our era, you could bring to today, and they would be super successful. Like Marvin Hagler is one of them. I feel
Watch
like if
this
you
one,
could
Joe
take,
Rogan.
I'm
Jumps
serious.
over the guy.
Okay.
Ready? Boom. No, that's not the one.
That's not it.
this is the one they're showing. Oh, that's not the one.
That's not the one.
No. There's a few athletes that I think you could take today and they would be super successful. Like, for sure, Julius Erving. For sure, Michael Jordan. For sure. For sure,
Yeah,
Magic
yeah.
Johnson. For sure.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what. Like,
Oh,
you bring
yeah.
them into this era, they'll be successful in almost any era.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was at a bar one
Put
night.
up Vince Carter, dude.
I was at a bar one night, and there was a Cuban dude, and he was passed out like this, Joe Rogan.
Can you find the video, Joey, of the dude that he jumped over the dude?
I've never seen it. It doesn't look
But-
like this. And this is
Look at this shit.
What's this?
This is Vince Carter.
that guy's like 7'2".
It's like that.
Yeah, that dude's 7 feet tall.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
these people go
amazing.
crazy.
He rubbed his nuts on that dude's head. Watch that again. Watch this. He rubbed his nuts on that dude's head.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
He
man.
went over that dude's head.
This
That's
dude still dunks like this,
insane.
and he's 40.
That's insane. That's an athlete.
When we were in high school, he was in high school for a minute, close
oh
to
my
us.
God, he jumped over that guy.
They would show his high school highlights on local news, like it was. They would cover it like an NBA game.
Dude, look at
I
how
know,
he's rubbing
he's a-
his dick on that guy's ear. Watch.
He's fucking
Here's
him.
my
He's
dick.
fucking his fucking face right now.
He's mind fucking him directly through the ear. And then slams that. That's insane.
Yeah. No, he.
Roy Jones Jr. was like that.
Oh yeah.
Roy Jones Jr. in his prime had some athleticism that didn't even make sense. He was able to land a lead left hook instead of a jab, where a lot of guys shot in a jab.
Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr., he like most of the time led with a lead left hook. Whoa. Jesus. That guy can fly.
Dunked his elbow in there.
Yeah.
You know, I
Arm
think
in
about.
rim dunk. That's the arm in rim dunk, ladies and gentlemen. It's much more difficult than the
I
regular
think
dunk.
about
You got to worry about breaking
like
your
David Thompson had a 48 jump vertical inch. I think about that. That was 30 years ago. I can't imagine what kind of vertical jumps college players. They had to be up to 60, 55 inches. Those defensive backs, Michael Irvin could jump 4 feet in the air.
Yeah.
That's how he became Michael Irvin. One hand.
He's a freak.
The
for
kid
sure.
from the Giants with the blonde hair now, that little kid.
Odell Beckham.
I see him at Jay Glazer's place. He ain't no bigger than you, dog. Odell Beckham is not that much bigger than you.
Jay Glazer's got a hell of a gym, huh? I saw Stallone was working out there with Chuck Liddell. I was like, what kind of crazy gym do you have?
You gotta see that place.
Football players,
All day
MMA
long.
fighters.
All day long training them.
What's it called again?
Something Optimum Performance? Or
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable?
Yeah.
The owner is
It's a good move, man. Good move on his part. He
him
loves
and the
working out.
linebacker from Chicago.
That's a smart move, you know. Be a part of some sort of a cool strength
Look
and
at him
conditioning.
jump. You see
Wow,
that?
look at that jump.
Yeah, dog. This is a
Catch
new
with one
brand.
hand. Well, athletes are always getting better, right? If you go back to baseball from the 1950s and then go to baseball in 2017, you're seeing better and better athletes. You're seeing people that are just faster, smarter, train better, you know, use better nutrition. They're optimizing themselves the best that they can. But the question is, like, I wonder, like, genetically what's happening. I wonder if, like, people genetically are getting bigger and faster. I wonder if there's, like, a little slight uptick that will one day, maybe 20 years from now, 30 years from now, register in a big way. Because you got to wonder, with all these people competing in CrossFit and all this strength and conditioning stuff, people's bodies might start literally thinking they have to work harder again.
Right.
They have to get stronger and bigger again. People might get bigger. This is my terrible understanding of genetics as applied
I'm
to...
sold on it.
Thank
Just on that alone.
How do you
Dog,
think I
I
should
sent-
sell
I
this to the
spent-
public?
I tell you,
Peer-reviewed
Moses
papers?
just did.
I spit in the cup, dog. I'm waiting. I got another 3 weeks. I spit in the cup to see who I'm related to. I did it. The DNA
Ancestry.com.
test.
Did you see that thing about all those white racists
What?
that found out they were they had
Yeah.
black people in their
That's
past?
hilarious.
They
And then
get
they try to
pissed off.
discredit the test.
I'm doing it for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm
So
doing
you know
it.
who you could talk shit about? Because if you find out
No,
that
no,
you
no,
have
no,
like a
no.
certain percentage, like I could talk shit about Italians
Sure.
because I'm mostly Italian.
Yeah.
You know, so most people wouldn't consider it a bad thing.
Well, you
You're
motherfuckers,
allowed.
the Sicilians got raped by the Moors.
Exactly.
And then the Sicilians one night, on the night of the Vespers in 1600, got up and they cut their dicks off and shoved them in their fucking mouths.
What?
That's why you can't talk about rape in front of most Sicilians. Night of the Vespers is an old Sicilian tradition. That's why those Sicilians are good with knives.
Crazy. Now
Old
it's like
Sicilians are good with knives. They tell you, keep them at arm's distance. With old Sicilians, don't fuck with them. Because they got those knives. They're good with those knives and shit. It's crazy. Cubans, my sister's dark skin. And then I look at my cousin, who's my skin, and his sister, the singer, is dark skin.
Yeah.
So I know there's some African shit in my fucking blood. It's Cuba.
who's what's the band's name? Ex Alfonso? Is that it?
Eki.
What is that band? The band they're in. Is it Ex Alfonso? Is that it?
His name is Eki, and her name is Emma.
I've got it on my phone. It's in my
Yeah. So
hold
they
on.
own. If you ever go to
his,
Cuba,
his cousins
my cousin owns La
have a
Factoria.
fucking amazing band.
Really?
Dude, they're really good.
Really good, but they own La Factoria. So
Yeah, here it is. Ex Alfonso.
that's my male cousin.
Give me some volume on this shit. They're really good, dude. I mean, no bullshit. I listen to this on my way to the Comedy Store all the time. I get pumped up because I don't know what the fuck they're saying. So just for me, it just feels good. It's like celebratory, and I can get into my own head thinking about my material.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I
because
get pumped up listening to this.
one night you sent me a video. You were listening to something else, like Italian music.
I always do that. Yeah, I always listen to language that I don't understand.
So you don't
Because-
think about the words?
Yeah, I don't think about the words at all. See, I don't understand what this is. And there's ignorance in it, but there's also freedom. So the freedom is that I can hear the beautiful sound of his voice and
Right.
not have any context to it. No, like whatever his message is or anything. And I can have it in the background and 100% concentrate on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
I hear you. It's
and
like an
not-
instrument.
Yeah, like if you're like listening to Shooting Star by Bad Company, you know, Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. That's going to change the way you feel.
Yeah.
Like you hear about that if you're writing about a certain thing, you're not going to be able to concentrate on your subject.
Sure.
Love me do, I think it was. From there, it didn't take him long. And when I was in high school, everybody wanted to be that guy. Everybody wanted to be that bright star that burnt out and didn't fade away. And everybody's like, man, we lost Johnny.
I love when he goes, Don't you know
that you are
Don't you
a
know
shooting star.
that you
Don't you
are
know?
fucking tremendous?
It's a great fucking
Now, he's
song.
the male.
Yeah.
Now, look at his sister. If you scroll down, show him his sister. So my whole family's like this, where the male is light-skinned, but my sister is dark-skinned.
Yeah.
So I just said, fuck it, I got it. And then some other kid sent me paperwork that I was related to some Italian Navy guy called Luis Diaz from 1832. So I said, enough with this shit. Let me just spit in the cup. Plus, it also tells you where your genetics are and what you might die of.
Whoa.
If you might get cancer, if you might have cardiovascular disease, it tells you what you're susceptible for.
My family did a family reunion in 2000, and they hired this like genealogy expert, and they thought like this would be like the big culmination on Saturday to present a family history to everybody in the family. It's like 30, 40 people there.
This weekend?
No. This was in the year 2000. And then that guy started telling us about this, our first guy that came over from Spain, and then where he landed in like 1720. Everyone was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he was just like, he was a real piece of shit.
Oh,
And,
no.
Yeah. And like he killed somebody, and he went to prison, and then he was stealing from people, and when he died he left 60 slaves to this person, and everybody was like, well, let's go have dinner now.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's just completely ruined.
I'll tell you what baffles me, Segura.
Everybody's
You know
dying.
what baffles me? Like, there's Diaz's that are Cuban,
Yeah.
and then there's the Diaz brothers that are Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means our relatives came from Spain. One went to an island,
Yep.
and the other one went to Mexico.
True.
Some way or another, I look at those Diaz brothers and I go, I got it. We're both retarded. All three of us are retarded. There's got to be some type of blood that we share because we're not all there. You know what I'm saying?
But there's also Diaz in Puerto Rico, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
there's Diaz's in everywhere.
And that's a different kind of Diaz than the Mexican Diaz too. You know,
Yeah.
it's really interesting once you hear enough Spanish and you hear the difference between like being friends with you and listening to a lot of Cuban people talk.
Yeah.
Like Cuban people have like a very certain rhythm, and then Puerto Ricans have like a different kind of rhythm, and Mexicans have their own rhythm. All
It
different.
totally changes, man.
Yeah, and the funny thing about hanging out with Tom is people look at him and he looks like a broski from like Wisconsin or something. They don't realize he speaks fluent Spanish. So people will talk shit in Spanish in front of you.
All the time about me sometimes. Yeah, all the time.
They would never guess.
No.
What happens when you drop it on them?
It depends, man. Like sometimes you get a like you can see the shame wash over them, you know. Because if they say something rude at the end, I'll say like, "Have a nice day," like,
Yeah.
you know, like, or I hope you have a great day the rest of your day. Que lo pasa bien? And they're like, and then
Oh,
you see
no.
them. Sometimes there's like a laugh. Sometimes, you know, I've had it go even. I remember in high school, my cousin came from Peru, and we went into. It was the reverse. We went into what is it? GNC.
Yeah.
We were like 14, and I go in Spanish because he's visiting. I tell him this place is easy to steal from. And then I don't realize that the lady working at the store.
Was Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So instead of, she just let us kind of look around, and then she started speaking to us in Spanish, and we were like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's hilarious.
Like we thought we were speaking to some crazy code, you know, like this isn't fucking, you know, Farsi that you're not going to run into a lot. It was Spanish, but it happens all the time, man. I also realized it's probably, I don't know if it happens to you because I don't look Spanish. A lot of times Spanish-speaking people don't want me to speak Spanish to them.
Why is that?
If they're here, they're not appreciating that you're not letting them show you that they can speak English a lot of times.
That's interesting because Americans wouldn't give a fuck. If you were over in like Italy and someone
Oh,
started
yeah.
talking English and you had like one of those translators, you're trying to like, yo soy, you know, you
Yeah.
try to talk to him and he just starts saying, is it no problem? I speak perfect fluent English. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, great.
Thank God.
Let's
Yeah.
just talk English.
Here it's different though.
You'd never be like, oh, let me
Yeah.
struggle.
Sometimes it's somebody that I speak way better Spanish than they speak English. And
Really?
I still insist on keeping it English.
That's rough.
It gives them, like with me, they look at me for a minute, and then once I start going off,
Yeah.
like those hello, ¿cómo está? Anybody could say those.
Yeah.
It's when they ask me, how's your day going? Like when somebody Spanish says to me, ¿qué está pasando? I always say, aquí fajado con lo blanco esto, no sirven, compadre.
Yeah.
And they look at me, I tell them, I'm here fighting with these fucking white people on a daily.
Right.
And they look at me and go, oh, okay, he's okay. But the guy at the wheat store at Kushmart,
Yeah.
there used to be a little security guard, and I didn't say nothing to him. He never looked at my name. he would just look at Joey or something, and he would go, "Oye, está gordo italiano aquí," the fat Italian. And I let him roll for like 8 times. And one day I said, "Oye, yo nunca te falta respeto a ti. No me lo falta a mí, hijo de puta." And his face turned pale. Like he had a gun and everything, and he got pale because I said, "Never disrespect me, and I'll never disrespect you, you son of a bitch." And he just turned pale. And a week later, he's like, "Come here. I'm going to get you discounts on weed up in the valley."
Sure.
Because I lived in Hollywood at the time. But I would catch people, but it's really weird. Yeah, some people don't.
Some people don't. Some people are cool with it.
Dude, you ain't seen somebody kill until you seen Joey Diaz do half Spanish, half English in Miami at the Improv.
I bet.
In 2004, 2003, 2004, when that place was crazy.
Yeah. That place was crazy.
You know, and I could go off in Spanish.
Sure.
I could go off really funny in Spanish.
People would get crazy.
All I imitate is the people that, you know, I grew up around. The Cuban guys I grew up around were very funny. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I was bartending in high school. I had to quit high school and bartend. And there was this bookie that hung out there. His name was Arnardo. And he didn't speak no English. And I used to talk to him. He was a Cuban dude built, and he had a big, big gut. And one day he was sitting in a chair like this, and my buddy was yoked, and he's telling him about, "You're yoked, coño, compadre." And he goes, "I got to go." And my friend goes, "What are you going to go home for?" He didn't even speak Spanish, Arnardo. He goes, "What I got to go home for?" He goes, and my friend goes, "What are you talking about?" And I'll never forget, Arnardo was sitting in a bar chair that didn't go back. And he just started going, "Oh, when I go home now, forget it." And he started making believe like he was jerking off. And he would make the noises, "Aye." And everybody in this bar is looking at him. His dick ain't out. But he's going, "Aye, aye." And when he would come, he would pop back in the chair and go, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." And the whole fucking bar was fucking... And then he would sit back and go, Joey would go like this. He'd go, "Oh, coño de pinga esa paja, compadre." He would play out the whole thing. Of him jerking off, switching hands, and then at the end, bah, bah, bah. The people you run into in your daily fucking life.
If you do that today, they'll put you in jail. If you did that today, if you leaned back in a bar and started jerking off into the sky,
oh my God,
they'd put you in jail. That's sexual assault.
Just to do the impersonation?
I'm sure.
Remember, didn't Jim Morrison get in trouble for that?
He pulled his dick out. He pulled his dick out, I think.
In Miami?
It was in Miami.
Miami,
right?
he pulled his dick out.
Yeah, famous concert.
But I thought that during Mr. Mojo Rising, he would make believe he was whacking off and he got arrested. I think our boy, too, got arrested, the comedian, for doing something on stage, like a sexual something.
Which guy?
The original guy.
Lenny?
Yeah,
Lenny Bruce?
Lenny did.
I think he just got arrested for talking. I don't think he ever pulled his dick out. I think that was just Morrison.
I'm not saying pulling his dick out. I mean, like doing the motion.
Oh, maybe.
That
yeah,
you're jerking
profanity.
off or doing something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Well, he definitely got prosecuted for profanity. What does it say here?
It's Jim Morrison's arrest.
Many of the nearly 12,000 youths said they found the bearded singer's exhibition disgusting. Included in the audience were hundreds of unescorted junior and senior high school girls. Morrison appeared to masturbate in full view of the audience, screamed obscenities, and exposed himself. He also got violent, slugged several, in parentheses, concert promoters, and threw one of them off the stage before he himself was hurled into the crowd with his dick hanging out. Wow. Interesting. He says to this day, Morrison's bandmates deny this version of events. As guitarist Robbie Krieger explained to Spinner, they were complaining about Jim whipping it out on stage, which he didn't do. 500 photos were entered as evidence in the trial, and not one of them showed anything of the sort. Regardless, after rejecting a plea bargain, the singer was found guilty of misdemeanor counts of indecent exposure and open profanity and sentenced to prison time and a fine. The case was on appeal at the time of his death, July 3rd, 1971. Wow. Interesting. The Clemency Board in 2010 voted to pardon the singer. More than 40 years later. Who the fuck knows what happened if they don't have a picture of his dick out? I thought they had a picture of it. If they don't have a picture of his dick out, somebody could have yelled his dick's out, which is just like yelling fire in a crowded building.
He
People
used to do that
hearing
whole
it.
thing at the end of L.A. Woman. Mr. Mojo rising.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the end, he would make believe. Rising. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, maybe to them it looked like masturbation. To him, it looked like he was playing like an air guitar. You know?
Yeah.
Right?
He pretended to jerk off.
Yeah, maybe. You're not allowed to do that back then.
Really?
That would deny like a good 40% of all of our material.
It's a lot of it.
If someone told you you can't fake jerk off on stage, you'd be like, ooh, how am I going to make this bit work?
There's a couple specials that are gone entirely.
Fuck. That was one of my best ones.
Yeah.
Shit.
You need to stroke it.
If they edit out all the stroking it parts, you'd be like, oh, I'm so limited in my game. God damn it.
God damn it.
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck, Joey Diaz? It's only 3.5 hours into the show.
It's 4
Jesus.
o'clock. We're gonna get
How do
killed
we
with
do
traffic,
this?
and I gotta pick the baby up.
Listen, this is one of my favorite times ever.
Oh my god!
So
I
fun.
think
Tremendous.
I'm gonna have to review it to find out what the fuck you said that made me laugh till I literally couldn't breathe. But to everybody that's been on the show, thank you. Thank you to everybody listening. Thank you. Thanks to everybody from top to bottom. I love the fuck out of you people. More to come. And Tom Segura and Christina Pazsitzky is Your Mom's House, one of the best podcasts on the internet. Of course, Church of What's Happening Now, Lee Syatt, The Flying Jew, and the great Joey CoCo Diaz, available on everywhere. And that's it. Thanks.
We'll see you
in
motherfuckers
1,000
tonight.
more. And
8
we'll see you
o'clock, ready to go.
in 4 hours.
Stars of Death, heroin,
Christ.
everything tonight.
Woo! All right. We love you guys.
Thank you.
Love.
Was there a show after ours, or we got the
Yeah.